that game you could, just tweak out so many points on the skill. Why not have a full on?
No, absolutely. My Pathfinder guy could see invisible creatures because he can beat the DC by 20 or 40 or whatever it is in Pathfinder.
Yeah, Pathfinder did kind of take it to the next level. Couldn't you like identify items if you had high enough like spellcraft or something?
I think so. I think they just simplified
just
that.
Like, oh, let's just skip the spell. I'll just look at this. Oh yeah, healing potion.
Yeah.
Next.
But in Pathfinder 2, they abandoned that because then they put in feats. You have to take skill feats in order to be able to do more things than you can, basically, regardless of how high you can go.
I like feats. I use
Yeah. PF2 is almost all feat based, and I wonder if they continue that path. PF3 will be classless. It will be only feats only, which I think it's
don't say PF3. You'll give Eric Mona and Jason Bullman freaking aneurysms. If you start thinking about.
Yeah. Well, they have to start thinking about it now. That's what they said when they done PF1. They started thinking about PF2, so now they're working on PF3 in 2030. Come out in like 9 years.
You know what that means? Anna's already thinking about her third Greyhawk.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm already thinking about that. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'm writing my new Patreon goals and tiers and all that. That's what I'm working on at the moment to write that blog post about that. So, yeah, that's the problem. I'm always thinking about what I can do in the future. Yeah.
Hey, is our audio live yet?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Towing is probably not always good to have it. Yeah.
So what we got here?
I put a shout out to the Living Greyhawk folks I have on a Discord server.
Cool.
Asked them to come pop by and say
first
hi.
on the drawing.
Of course. Hey, I won that gift certificate last time.
Yeah.
That's
CSL?
cool.
Which one was it?
That was a Troll Lords.
Oh,
It's
Troll
like my
Lords,
third
yeah.
Troll Lords one. I'm buying out their shop. I need to send them a tip.
Make sure the shout outs are working here. Starting to work on the beginnings of starting to work on the beginnings of laying out the virtual GreyHawkCon stream schedule already. So
Nice.
yeah, gotta get it done.
I got to start rating the Band of Kingdoms tournament.
Yes, you do.
But I already know what I'm doing.
Not finished. You gotta have the framework at least up for when we get to July 1st, which is sign up days.
Oh, I already know what it's going to be. I just have to convert everything from 3.5 to Pathfinder, which is pretty minor. And then I tweak everything. I add in some stuff that we didn't have originally.
Oh, cool.
Hey guys, you hear me?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Better than on my last time.
Good.
Good.
Some final tests here. Just wanted to make sure I was good, I always forget something. I think I'm good now. So. Awesome.
Yes. You should not hide behind the Scarlet Brotherhood swastika.
So we know you're real, so to speak. So, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it might be like Gary that we're not sure that Gary's real yet. So it might just be a
I invited Gary too, but Gary said he was too overwhelmed with Law to come on, so.
Oh, did he move?
Yes.
From Austin to where?
Austin to
No.
Boston.
Northern Austin.
Oh, he moved up by Round Rock, probably.
Yeah.
Or Leander.
Oh, yeah.
us Texas folks in the audience know.
Yes,
place.
it does, Sean. And that's I'm not trying to sound like a smart ass, but you got to do all the pre-tests every time, just to make sure. Because every time I come on here and every time I bring up XSplit, it either defaults to my Samsung mic or my Brio, not to my headset. And I have to manually make the change. So,
Yeah.
yep, every time.
Yeah, pre-flight check. It's very important.
Gotta do it. So,
At least now I can speak chat at the same time as I'm
yes!
video.
Yes, that's
Nice
a good
to be
thing.
Yeah,
It's so nice to be home with this.
I bet.
Get my command center back. Although I missed the fun of Florida and Boston. It was nice being in a hotel in Florida, having servants come in and clean everything up and massage my feet and stuff. And it was excellent.
Did you tip them copper pieces or silver pieces?
Silver pieces, of course.
We are giving another courtesy of Troy Cannabelle another CSL gift certificate tonight. So, yep, doing that definitely. And I always forget something. It's a minor thing, but I turn off my Wi-Fi on my phone. Why not? By the way, Dimensions. I should have that everything very shortly. I'm so looking forward to what that thing looks like.
Yeah, guys. Rich is on tonight, not Lord Bresson.
Yeah, it's a rich night. Yeah. No Lord Bresson to celebrate the 100th LNL.
Lord Bresson was busy last night in the names game, so he's tired today. You have to save the party once again, so you have to take a nap today.
Right. Very, very cool.
And I went orange tonight, not red. I almost put on a red shirt, but I said, I'll wear orange. So it's off red, you know, so it's not really soul, but there's enough there to
Orange is a good color.
it makes you feel comfortable. Like it's not full soul, but it's
Lord Bresson sunken undies. Oh, that's a little disturbing notation. Yeah, that's disturbing. Ah, 100 shows. Anna, Mike, I'm relying on you both to talk. If you want to talk about the first 29, because I was only on one of those.
Well, they're not that much to talk about. I watched them and they were.
I don't want to say that.
Well, we basically have redone every topic I think that we did the first.
Really? Oh, I didn't know
Oh yeah,
that.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, we touched on a lot of we touched on the basics like the introduction to the setting. We talked a little about geography. All the stuff that we had talked about, but in less detail.
They're still cool.
Less guests. Oh yeah.
Cool topics.
Yep.
I pulled some pics off of.
It was on
I randomly
the
went.
show before.
I randomly went to a folder and pulled out something, and look, one of the 4 things that came up. It's a red book. And that.
Oh yes.
I randomly went to 4 different folders because you remember we have from episode 30 to 99, and each of those I was like, oh, this is cool from each of those folders. I have every banner of every episode we've ever done on this channel in the scroller tonight too. So it'll be cool. Well, hey, what's up, man? 100 episodes tonight. Man, I only Wednesday. First of all, it's 90 degrees here.
Wow.
Yeah, it's 90 in South Jersey. Well, it was today. It's not a beautiful day, but
Nice.
I just
Here outside of Boston.
Yeah, it's gorgeous here too, but with Southern California, so it's almost always gorgeous.
It's always gorgeous.
Yep.
the upper left-hand
Year
corner
conversion.
is year 3, 577 at Restonford from the Lens show, and I put both. I got a really funny Len clip, so yeah. Well, thank you, John David Speaks. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that.
Rich, do you still have snow on the ground?
No, so I just looked it up. So we're at 82 degrees here.
Wow, in Montreal.
Wow. That's what we have here too. We have like 60 in the morning and like 58, 55 at night and about 80 during the day, in the afternoon.
That was nice.
And we
Although
have that
I'm-
onshore flow with clouds in the morning until light noon, and then sunny afternoons. It's typical spring, early summer weather in California.
The
Southern
music's
California.
over, so I'll come on a few minutes early. Oh, I had it set to reset. I'll come on anyway. What the heck? What the heck's the Good evening, everyone. Welcome. We made it. Looks
Yes.
like we made
Mhm.
it. Oh, I'm singing. That's bad. So I'm Jay Killer Gazumba, and I have with me both the wonderful Anna Meyer and the great Greyhawk Mike Bridges, who have done more episodes than I have of Legends and Lore.
Well, we
Right.
had our little beginning. Yeah.
Howdy,
And-
guys.
yeah.
Absolutely.
We-
And some of our special guests, a non-Lord Brezen, Rich Diolia.
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 Diolia. Did I say that right? Diolia?
Yep.
Wow. I finally got that right. And then our living Greyhawk experimenter par excellence, Casey Brown. Yes, there it is.
Oh, look at that. Awesome.
Now, thank you, Devray, for the sub there. We also have a couple other guests that may or may not be on that had some last-second issues, and that's Alan Grohe and both Carlos Leising are both going to attempt to hop on. I think John Birchfield from Blue Box is going to hop on a little bit too. I also invited Jason. I don't know if he'll come on though, Zavoda, because he
We'll
had
see.
some really
Yep.
key
Mhm.
shows with us too.
Yep.
So Casey, I'll start with you here. You were on you were on one of the first 29 episodes on the Greyhawk channel, weren't you?
Yep.
You're muted.
The way to start the show, Casey. I was.
okay.
Yep. Mhm.
I couldn't tell you what number it was, but we
No, but
talked
it
about
was
the Bandit
like-
Kingdom.
It was like episode 10 or something like that. It was some of the one of the early guests.
Probably like 3 years ago now.
Oh yeah, definitely 3 or 4 years ago, I think. Yeah.
Mike's bouncing around there.
Quite some time. And so first of all, congratulations to Mike and Anna,
Yep.
who gave
Thank
birth
you.
to this show. And then special shout out to Jay, who took over the production of it.
Exactly. Yeah. And so we should kind of tell a little bit of the story behind the show originally, how this actually came to be, because and it was back in Shane, he ran the Greyhawk channel, and I thought it was so cool. So when I met him at Gen Con, I simply said, well, you should have a show where you just talk about the setting and stuff to teach people about the setting and so on and so forth. And then you can tie that into your games. And then he, of course, said, well, then you should do it. And I was like, oh, I haven't done any of that. And so I realized I needed someone who knows more about the setting than me that could help me out. So I said to Mike, are you willing to be my partner in this? Because then we can do it. And he said, yes, thankfully. And then we started in our humble little beginnings with me using OBS, and it kind of worked, and we got it going. And but the cooperation with the rest of the Greyhawk channel never really appeared. So we were doing our little thing, Mike and me, and we got like our about 15 to 35 viewers, something like that per episode. And we kind of, something like that. I think we started out with 10 and ended with about 30 or so. And then there was some issues with the Greyhawk channel, and I talked to Jay, and talked to him, and I realized that what the heck, then we need to jump ship, and then we need a new home for the show. And Jay, he graciously said that you should do it on my channel, so that's what we did, and that's the story. The rest of everybody knows who's watching this, I think.
Well, there was some. Look at that, Casey. Woohoo! 18 months. You gave us a hype train there. So, Anna's not going through all the gory details, but
No,
we won't go through that. We won't go through that.
Yep.
But we did it the right way. We did it. Cathay got you on the VIP there. So went, and the first 29 episodes, I think they're available still on the Greyhawk channel. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they should be
nice.
on YouTube on the Greyhawk channel YouTube. They should be there. So
Yeah, I think they are.
I think they're all linked on Greyhawk Online. I think I have a list of all of them with links. I think.
Nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I believe they're still there, which is a good
Yep.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so Rich has been on a couple times, right, in different aspects too, right?
No, I've been on a few times,
Yeah.
and then my roommate Lord Breslin has been on.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Your roommate. That's a nice way of saying it, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Very-
All the voices in my head agree.
Oh, that's great. So,
Yep.
giveaways tonight. All right. Courtesy of Cannabelle. Let me get to that. Let me get these so you guys can all pop up and start getting through these. We're going to give away a $25 gift certificate, at least, to CSL Entertainment, which is always very popular. Which you can always buy a Horn Hools if you don't have it, or a 9, thank you, or Caverick's Cove, or any of the other great adventures. Look at that. Yep, that Carlos has put together. And
Yep. Mm-hmm.
thank you very much. Thank you very much. So I got scrolling through, and let me restart this thing up here. I have every banner from every episode we've ever done, all 71 of them. Okay, so and I also have, if we go up here, I also have all the episodes, and we started here in 2019 with Undead of the Flanders with Alan Grohe on the first one, and that was episode 30, and it says season 4, and we were doing seasons then. I said let's switch it to numbers.
Oh yeah,
Season
yeah,
two drive me crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was the thing that we needed breaks in between because it was so many other things to do. So
Yeah.
we had like 10 episodes, and then we took a break for a couple of months and then came back again. But that doesn't
Oh,
work
yeah,
well on
that's right.
Twitch. Yeah, so that doesn't work well on Twitch and stuff. So this is much more better.
Yeah, and also to keep the flow going with fans and viewers in the community,
Mhm.
you want it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can have a break here and there, you know.
Yeah, but we need
but you want
to-
to be on as much as possible every
Mhm.
week, and I think we've done a really good job of doing that. Like for this year alone, we started at number 82, and they'll be coming up. So here's a listing of all of them. We're going to bounce around and talk about as many as we can. Number 82, Giants and Humanoids, was the first one in 2021, all the way through to 100. So that's
Mhm.
19 episodes this year. How many weeks have been in the year so far?
I
It's
think
rough.
it is 19 or
Yes.
18. Maybe we have 1 week off. I might have been 1 week off, but I
There
think
was
we've been on.
one-
Yeah, I think there was 1 week off for some reason, but we've been on. I think every week.
Oh, I
except
remember the
in
week
21.
we had off was I had
Yeah.
a death. My cat died, I think.
Yeah. It was something like that. Yeah.
I think that
mhm.
was it.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
so-
otherwise, we've been on every week this year,
Thank
and
you
I
very
think we
much,
were on
Rudy.
every
So-
except 2 or something last year too. So
But good to see everyone here tonight. We're just going to celebrate and have a little fun here and talk about some of the great shows. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to give Casey a lot of credit. I think a lot of the wonders of the direction of this audience and how many people watch it started with the Living Greyhawk episodes.
yep. mhm.
So here comes in Blue Box. Look at that timing.
Awesome.
Yep.
Welcome.
John, welcome in, man.
Thank you. I'm
Well-
happy to take credit where it's not due, but I appreciate it.
Oh, but it was because those were the first episodes we had with lots of guests that kind of was not just
Some-
me,
we got a
Mike,
guest
me, and,
coming on.
Jay that
Hold on.
babbled about things. We were kind of expanding our horizons and learned a lot of cool stuff and so on. So Living Greyhawk was the start of that, so to speak, that brought us up the first step. Then
We have a
got
guest
the
coming
guests
on.
and stuff.
Hasn't been on in a year.
Hmm?
Let's hope. I just
Mhm.
I clicked
Yep.
yes. Let's see. Hopefully,
Awesome. Yep.
yes. So
Gonna guess the Zavoda index.
That's what I'm thinking as well.
I hope the connection works. So Jason, not sure.
While we're
Well,
While we're waiting for
it's
Jason, yeah, we've done about one Living Greyhawk show a month for the past year and a half or two, and we'll
Yeah.
be back on that bandwagon soon.
Yep.
Yes, and the last. There you go, Stefan. I got you too. The last one, and John, please come on. John Birchfield, I know you wanted to hop on a little bit too, and just stay as long
Yeah.
as you can. There it is, Living Greyhawk, and that was the first one, and we're looking at number 35. So it's only the
Yep.
6th episode we had on Legends and Lore, and that's when I think that's when the outside influence came in, and people started watching it from other and oh, this is cool, and that kind of led to the success of the the whole channel, and then started leading to the success of the community. So
Yep, that was a huge show. We had triads from like 6 different regions.
Yeah, we
Oh,
still have
that's-
several
that
regions
show.
that we need to see if we can get in on the show
thank
too.
you, Long
but
Shot.
yeah,
Europe, we got to get Europe.
yeah. But so many cool insights and war stories and stuff from conventions and how the sausage was made, so to speak, how modules were put together and some of that, and even from Eric Mona and Jason Boldman and others who kind of and others who exactly that.
Stephen, Steven.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's
the
right.
ones
Stephen
that were,
McFarlane was on too.
exactly the ones
Yeah.
that were on at the top and kind of tell us the stories behind the scenes that from the top to the bottom. So to
I apologize. Who's the one gentleman who's on? He's always drinking the Wendy's cup, and he has a shield.
drinking the Wendy's.
Yeah,
Do you remember the region?
yeah. No, he's like an overseer and helps run Gen Con.
Oh, David. The guy who runs cons is Baldman Games.
No.
David Christ.
No, not David Christ. He's like overseer. It was very involved in Living Greyhawk, but he was like he's still involved to this day doing things. I don't want to say him by ethnically. I think he's Asian.
Oh man, why am I drawing
now
a
it's
blank?
starting to now it's starting to ring a
You
bell.
always
but
say, "Oh, I want to bring him on to them too," and he's like hanging out. He sits there and he hangs out the whole time. He doesn't say much.
he's the
And
smartest.
he's in his office when he's on
yeah,
the
he's
show.
the
Oh, Conrad.
Conrad,
yeah,
that's
Conrad.
it.
Yes.
Conrad Brandon
Brandon
Mule?
Mule. I
Yes,
don't
Conrad.
know
He
about
didn't
his
say much, but he
parentage.
had so many cool comments
Yeah,
when
Conrad.
he did say.
Yeah,
when
he's
he
a big
did say
name.
things.
Yeah, Conrad's a Bandit Kingdoms guy who used to
Yep.
run cons
Mhm.
and is associated with
Awesome.
Baldwin.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, we would love to have him on again.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, Rich, who would you like to? So, I'm working on the Finnish group. Who would you like to see from Living Greyhawk on?
I'm a big Furiundi fan.
Okay.
But I think we had them, right? We had the Furiundi triad.
I think-
John Du Bois or DeBow.
Yeah.
Jason.
I
And
guess
if we can get the Grand March triad, that's the other. Furiundi.
We have not. Wait, we had Grand March. We had. Oh, we haven't had Grand March. We had
Hey,
Keelan and Joff.
That's right. So
Yeah.
the Grand March would be my second.
Hey, guys.
We don't know
Jason!
what happened to the
Hello.
Grand March people.
How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing okay.
Good to see you
very
in
Yeah, good to
person,
see you.
face to face. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. Now we got our Gygaxian guy on now for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so we can't talk about anything after 1980.
Yeah. Good to see. Hopefully everything is working well on your end. It's good to see that you're doing okay. All right, so go ahead, Richard. I'm sorry for interrupting there. Yeah. So.
No, I was just saying the second would be the Grand March. If I can't get Furiundi, Grand March would be good.
And what
Yeah,
what
Grand
region's
March is-
Grand March? Who's Grand March?
Georgia, North Carolina, and South Carolina.
And it's interesting because they had a lot of cool maps from Grand March. Some of the best cartography of Living Greyhawk was done by the Grand March group. So that's interesting for me from that perspective too.
Well, let's see if we can make it happen in 2021. I've created a secret Discord server of former Living Greyhawk triads and circle members so that I
cool.
can
You can
reach
So-
out to them and coordinate.
Here's the big announcement that we just out of the blue were shocked one day. I think Richard was as shocked as I was. I come on in the middle of the day because I'm working and I got home early or whatever. I see Creighton Broadhurst has joined the Discord, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my
Ooh.
gosh!
Time.
I was
Yep.
like, whoa!
Awesome.
So we got to get him on.
Yeah.
Yep. Mhm.
Yeah,
Working on it.
Braden
Absolutely.
used to drop in on the Great Talks back in the day on Thursday.
Thanks,
nights.
Rich.
Everyone should go check out Raging Swan Press. That's his publishing house.
Someone
All
wants to link
Pathfinder
that in
stuff.
chat, please do. I don't have
Okay.
a shout
Yep.
out for that. But yeah, that would be really cool to have him. So, John, anytime you want to hop on and say, grats to Mike
Yes,
and Anna,
please
please
do.
do.
Mhm.
You know, like I said, I got that invitation open. Thank you for the raid in, and thank you for such a intriguing show that gave me a freaking
Yes.
headache,
Mhm.
man. That's that argument between. Oh my gosh.
That was kind of.
So,
Have we done Paladins?
have we done?
No,
I've done
we haven't
Paladins
talked
on
much about
Gavin.
Paladins. I was
Yeah.
just going to say we stayed away from it, but maybe it should have been one of these topics we should have talked about before we moved over to Jay.
We can
We'll
just
save that one
talk.
for
Oh my
Gary.
No,
gosh.
we should,
gents,
we
thanks.
should, we should definitely talk about Paladins, and we talked about religion
Definitely.
and stuff. So we
Yes, a lot
touched
of it.
slightly, but we haven't talked about the Paladins, and we talked about knighthoods in
Yes.
Greyhawk too, and that also ties in. So we haven't talked about the Paladins
Yeah.
specifically, but we've kind of touched on them in both the religion and the knighthoods. So yeah.
The Knighthoods are more interesting.
Yeah, I tend to agree with John, where paladins are lawful good, and the other ones are champions. They're not paladins.
Yeah, but yeah.
We
and
know
it-
Jason's
fine.
thought. It's not old school. It ain't don't matter. So
Well, no, I don't use alignments, so for me, paladins are about ethos and codes. Kind of like if you look at Ivanhoe, where the paladins, the knighthood there, the Templars, they're evil.
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, they're
And,
lawful evil. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I agree on that. In that story telling, but then the Templars themselves, and they're made to be out very what's the word, romanticized, right? Throughout time and history, and it's all lost. And once again, I don't like converting real life over to game. It doesn't convert.
yeah,
well.
but-
Yeah. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah,
Go
but
ahead, Joe.
I mean, it's if you don't use alignment, then paladins become, it's you have to change a lot of things around that what you would do for a paladin. So, and then if you remember the old anti-paladin for Dragon Magazine, how for my group it was very influential back then. Everybody liked that idea
Love
of running into these anti-paladins
Oh.
as villains to run into.
Absolutely.
I promise on a Saturday night special within the next 3 months, I will shock everyone with something, and I'll show you how to play an anti-paladin.
Halfling wizard.
No thanks, I'm trying to quit.
He already did one because it was reincarnated.
I did that just to mess with you on purpose. I did it to stick it in the side. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Nice,
So, Creighton
nice
Broadhurst.
dragonborn anti-paladin.
What's that, Rich?
I was just saying you play a nice dragonborn anti-paladin.
Oh gosh, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, half dragons are canon.
They are.
Just
If you
reskin
say
the
so.
dragonborn as half dragons.
That's right.
People, get over it.
And
I
tieflings as
have-
champions. Yep.
I
Yep.
have lawful evil paladins in my game. I have the Inquisitor class, lawful good, lawful neutral, or lawful evil. I have them. But it's called the Inquisitor, and we actually have an Inquisitor in Casey's Geoff group.
Oh my god, that character is
Jose
so
Ortiz plays a great one, great
Mhm.
Inquisitor, a
Yeah.
lawful good one though. So it saved the party one time with his dispel magic ability.
Yeah.
So,
But it
pretty
doesn't seem like that the Greyhawk setting didn't do anything special with the Paladin setting wise, so to speak. They left it up to the DM to kind of play it using regular rule books or tweak it in different ways. That
this could be its whole Gavin episode.
I was just
or
going to say we
Legends
could
of
have
Lore
whole
episode,
episodes
because-
Yes!
or two on this.
we
So
should
yeah.
save this
it
topic.
bled
Yep.
over from Blue Box, which is wonderful. Which
Yep.
is
Yeah,
really
you could
wonderful.
totally.
Yeah.
You talk about in third edition, they could have domains, probably, right? They probably
Yep.
got
Mhm.
domain
Yeah.
of their god. So Paladin of Foltest should not look the same as a Paladin of Palor.
Exactly. Yep. mhm.
Right.
Palor's neutral good. Does he really want lawful good bozos running around the countryside when he would rather have neutral good bozos?
Mhm.
You
Yep.
know, things like that. But that's its own show.
So
No, but it's very
Yeah.
good.
I've
topic.
gotten so
Yeah.
many Gavin ideas and Legends Lore ideas in the last couple weeks. So
Mhm.
just so note,
Yep.
here are three Gavin shows. DMing for kids. Someone asked me to do one of those. That's a great
Mhm.
idea.
Those are 30-year-olds, right?
All right, and then mass scale combat, because that discussion is going on all over the place, especially in chat, all over.
What kind of combat?
Mass scale.
Yeah.
Oh,
Army
mass
combat.
combat. Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
because
Yep.
of the
Mhm.
because of the chainmail.
Oh yeah.
Because of the
Yeah.
chainmail
Miniatures.
discussion with
Mhm.
Primus and also battle
Yep.
system.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
the way I do it. So that's another one.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
And
Yeah.
now Paladins in alignment. There you go. So
Yeah,
we got
Paladin alignments is something I think it would be good to talk
Yeah.
about them in the setting contest, so to speak, and also
Cool,
in
Joe.
Gavin more like from a
Very
rules
cool.
perspective thing. Yep.
Yeah,
I use has paladins. They're just called blackguards.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
what's a black?
I would actually
what's a
call the
black-
Shadow Claw even I use in Paladins.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, the bone shadow, right?
Yeah.
Well, though the Shadow Claw is Spy Network.
But
so
no, the blackguards are a 3rd edition class they put in the
Okay.
Dungeon Master's Guide, I believe.
Jason
Yeah.
and I are both like.
Yeah, you stole from 3rd edition. I don't pretend.
not,
Exactly.
not
You-
blackguards.
Mm-hmm.
So
No, but
I stole
they-
from 2nd edition.
Okay.
I stole a ton from Baldur's Gate, the RPG. The computer RPG was
Mhm.
brilliant. I stole a lot of stuff from it. I admit that. So there you
Yeah.
go.
Mhm.
All right, so Creighton Broadhurst, Grand March, the Finns, which wherever they were, we're going to get all them on for Living Greyhawk.
I think all the Scandinavians were the one. They were all Neri or ID, depending
Well,
on what you call it. So that were
Yeah,
the-
so Alyssa, which became Neri, was Norway, Denmark, Finland, and Sweden.
That's what.
Yep,
That's the one
mhm.
we're going to get.
Yep,
That's in the works.
that will be awesome because I,
I
haven't
don't
met.
know any of them.
Look,
I only know a
I don't
couple of Finns. That's all. I don't know anyone from Sweden. But it would be awesome to have them on the group if we can track them down. That would be fantastic.
Maybe
And for these Europeans, we might need to do the show on a Saturday or Sunday.
all
because
right,
the-
so it's going to be a
might be,
Saturday
yeah.
morning show.
Mhm.
I've already worked that out. Saturday
Yeah.
morning show. We'll have a special, even if it's a second Legends and Lore that week. We'll have a special Legends and Lore.
Exactly, we have a
because the time
special one
difference is
for them.
7 hours.
Yep.
So,
mhm.
yeah.
we will get that. We will get that going.
Depending on where in Europe, but yeah. Oh,
Absolutely.
for you it's 7. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, for
no
you it's
Canadians.
10.
Don't get any of the Canadian triads on.
Yeah.
Like don't get the Canadian
We've
triads.
had a couple of them on.
Yeah, we've
Yeah, but
we've
we
had
shouldn't
them.
have the Canadian triads on.
Oh,
Why
is
not?
something wrong with the Canadian
Oh,
triads?
I'm just throwing that out there. No particular reason.
Okay. Yep.
Which countries did they
Yeah.
have? I forgot. I think it was like Ket and Tasman and Zeep and stuff, right?
We've had them on already.
Oh yeah, we had several of them
Coincidence
on.
that the Bakuni countries.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had Zeef.
You know.
Zeef was one of the
Uh,
best discussions we had. Oh, all right. So
Rich,
wait.
Rich is letting his roommate speak. so-
Let's make
Right.
Rich's head explode. Okay,
Uh-oh.
are you all ready? I've been waiting for this. You open yourself up.
Oh no.
My
Uh-oh.
next Saturday night special with Stella Luna and her friends, right, is a week from Saturday of Memorial Day weekend. I want to show you 2 characters, Rich.
No, don't do this to me.
I'm going to. Lafayette Foulbeard. He is an undead hunter, which is a subclass of Paladin. Oh my gosh, where's that location? Sultanate of Zeef. Oh no. Okay, second one.
Can I give 0 points to the DM for the first one?
You can do whatever you want. I
Just
do
tell
this to
me
drive
which
you
night
crazy.
it is.
Half
All my
orc
0
fighter,
points.
his friend, Horatio Escalus Ferdinand III. Sultanate of Zeef. Both of them are backloonish.
Oh,
John Dawes, where are you at? And Dickerus, there you go. He's in the audience.
horrible.
I couldn't
I-
wait to
I
see
actually-
that.
I actually played in Indicurus's campaign.
There's Indicurus. Yeah, there he is. Indicurus. I got 2
Right there, I
Zeef
see it.
characters for.
And he was a fabulous DM, but he put us in Zeep and he said, here's your character choices. So I picked a half orc to get as far from the Bakuni as possible. So I was only half Bakuni. That's about as far as I could get. But,
Right. Well, so Jason, any Living Greyhawkers? I know you're but is there any like personalities that are attached to that you would like to see us get on the show? I mean, Creighton's a big name, and I know you knew Creighton.
Well, I knew Creighton. I mean, I really didn't know, outside of, now with Gary Hawley, and I really don't know that many Living Greyhawkers.
Okay. But Creighton would be a big one for you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Cool.
I mean, probably he's one of the few that I dealt with and knew back then. But it's getting to be quite a long time.
Well,
It's
hang
okay.
on, Russ Taylor.
Russ Taylor.
Russ, we
Well,
did.
that's true, Russ.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm throwing out some old Thursday night names for Jason. Russ Taylor was
Yeah.
a Duchy of Ernst Triad member, if I remember correctly, and a great
Yeah.
chatter.
Yeah, we've had him on the
Sam
show.
Weiss.
He's awesome.
What's Sam's last name?
I didn't know Sam.
Yeah, I knew
Okay.
Sam. I knew
Jason
Sam.
says
But Russ,
Steve Winter
yeah.
and Michael Monard on. Steve Winter and Michael Mornard. Were they living Greyhawkers? Steve Winter was did the first Earth Journal, right?
Yeah,
Not ringing bells.
He did with Eric Moore.
Well-
Wasn't he the one who did the timeline with Len Lakofka in the Earth Journal?
John, come on if you want to come on, man. There's an open spot. We got room for 6. I think so. So here's the deal. This is another thing going on for Legends and Lore. There is planning. It may take a little while for all of the Earth Journal editors to come on at the same time.
That will be fun.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be
Mhm.
good.
All right.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah, okay. I thought he did. Someone did the first episode of Earth
Well,
Journal.
Steve Winter. Yeah, Steve Winter.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
a
so-
legend. He edited the
Well, But Lawful Stupid,
the
now's your
books.
chance, man, because of
Yeah.
this. Now's your chance. We're already setting it up. Now's your chance for everyone. Virtual Greyhawk Con. The signups for putting in DM events are only 6 weeks away. It's 6 weeks
Mhm.
away. That's it for that first weekend in October. I can't wait. Cannot wait. And
BK Tourney 2.
that's it.
And Dick Riss
Can't
was
wait.
the MVP last year.
That's it.
Rich played in it.
It
A
was
whole bunch of
fabulous.
people in the audience played in it.
Yes. So
Tourney 2 is going to blow minds. They're going to be so pissed at me.
oh, I
So,
got
Jake-
it, but you got to split some of that time. So for
Yeah.
the boys tomorrow night. Oh my gosh, thank you, Patrick. So John did 5, you did 1. Oh man, remember I'm one of the boys tomorrow night. Lord Gazumba playing. John, my head exploded from that conversation today.
So- So we were off.
Now you put me in trouble.
Steve Wilson.
Now you put me in trouble.
Go ahead, Rich.
It was Steve Wilson. not
Steve Wilson, that's it. Steve Wilson.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Steve Wilson,
yeah.
Christoph, Eric Mona. Who am I missing?
Nellis here.
Nellis Sierra. He already said he'd do it. So there you go.
Rick Miller. Do a car.
Yeah,
Do a
Rick
Carthon,
Miller.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
do Carthon,
once
yeah.
Gary's move is done, he's going to help coordinate that, and that's who's that funny looking chap in the blue jumper? I have no idea. He's some guy who thinks paladins are awful evil.
Yep.
Paladins, not paladins.
I got it. I know. We've milked
just
that
had
as far
fun.
as we can.
I
Yep.
think most of your panel agreed with me, by the way, which is why I jumped on.
Oh yeah,
that's all
yeah.
good.
Right.
Mhm. You just got me in trouble afterwards. I didn't hear what it was, but it was something I did. It was awesome.
Jason Puppet, you got to remember this. It's the tuna fish sandwich theory. Just like my players, you're lucky if when you get to our age, you're lucky if you remember what you had for lunch. So you got to give everyone a little break there about Steve Wilson. Too much going on. All right, so that's in the works for for our first 9.
Do you have any more cool topics listed that you want to have for the future shows?
As far as Legends and Lore, I want Jason back on and others, and I want to go in depth on highlighting areas that Gary worked on. What do you think, Jason? Highlighting Hamlet and the surrounding areas, highlighting Salt Marsh, doing those kind of, I think, to help out with people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who go, where do I want to start a campaign? Now, I did that on Gavin, but I want to go in and dissect the early adventures, and to help out with opening areas. I think that would be a cool idea on Legends and Lore, and it doesn't that would be edition neutral, right? Because there's 5th edition for that. It would just to discuss the background on Hamlet, discuss the background on Salt Marsh, those things. I think that would be some good ones, and also to get the take on a lot of the stuff that appears in Gourd books that reference. Go ahead, Jason.
Well, I was just going to say with Gary, you got to remember there's Gary's home campaign, and which is completely different from the published setting. So you see probably the most in the Gourd books of Gary's take on the published setting, rather than just Gary's take on how he was doing it, for his home campaign.
Right.
Because they're very different, the two things.
Monty Hall, high fantasy, versus what we got.
All right, another thing. Yeah, absolutely. And the good thing though is that I would love, because we're like, we're running out of topics. We're never going to run out of topics. Never.
Never.
Nope.
No.
Yeah.
I really think there's just some good in-depth things we could discuss. Also, I'd like to go in a little bit and I know it's supposed to be published source, but a lot of individuals have done some great workups of certain areas. I'd love to bring in some of them and talk about like what they've done in this area. I'm not talking about my campaign. I'm talking about like Rich. Talk about some of the things you've done in your campaign, like ship travel, right? You've done a lot of charts.
Yeah, I've been all over the place. So my actually 20 years in Furiandi was my main campaign. And then the guys wanted something different. So I moved into Grand Marches against the Giants. And then I have a Buccaneer campaign out of the Azure Sea.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a lot of that. So I wrote a lot of ship travel and ship rules and naval. And so, yeah, so after 30 something years of DMing, you pile up a lot of material.
I think it would be good for the community to for idea base to,
we have
and mixing it around to get something to highlight some of the other. It doesn't have to go on a Gavin show. It can go on Legends.
Yeah, it's like we had one of the early ones. Mike, you talked about your vision of all and some of that. That's something we definitely should go back to and revisit.
Probably the
as part of
lowest
it.
viewer turnout we've had so far. 100.
Yeah.
episodes.
So we. Yeah, and one show I think we need to do or should do, even if it's contentious and difficult, is to talk about the rest of the planet. And now when I started modeling the planet as a whole, I think it's time to have that discussion just to realize,
I never thought I would correct you, but you said even if it's contentious, I would say especially if it's contentious.
Oh yeah. It is very contentious, and but still, I think it's something that just opens people's mind to what they can do, not to tell them what they should do or something, but or kind of an example what they can do. I think should be the kind of the aim of that discussion.
Did we yell at Ed for Kara-Tur being ported to the Forgotten Realms? Has that happened yet?
We talked about that, and Ed kind of skirted it in that second discussion.
Yeah, exactly.
I had with Candlekeep.
Yeah.
You could do a whole show on that.
Yeah, we had Chris Promise. We talked about chainmail a bit, and I kind of, I kind of was angry about the map and said that the text is good, the map is lousy, and so I wasn't sure if he had done the map or not. So I'm not sure if I kind of was very rude or not. So yeah.
All right, real quick, we had all those. Thank you, gift subs from Phantom and John. Thank you, and a ton of cheers. So we're going from the gift certificate for 25. We're gonna add 2 more. All right, I have some of these left. You get assigned with a special notation copy of Casey's Man the Kingdom's book.
Oh,
all right.
Ta-da!
Excellent.
All right, and because Patrick, Canadian Ancient Gamer, thank you. I got your other package today, but I got this post Zeb Cook. We're going to give away another Dwellers of the Forbidden City reprint. By the way, thank you, Patrick. We are set for Alan Hammock. We're set for Cousin Patrick. We're set for Alan Hammock for Sunday night. I got 3 reprints of Ghost Tower of Inverness to give out.
Oh wow!
All right, for Sunday night.
I wonder what that looks like.
Yeah.
Hey, can I want to say, Jay, if I could, I want to shout out Patrick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Game is amazing. He sends all this cool stuff. He supports all the streams.
Yep.
But also, we have a couple of folks like Lawful Stupid. They're pretty new to our community. They're from across the pond, and they were really active tonight on my chat and your chat, and really good streams. So check them out. And then Gronk at KNB. He always raids me, and he's actually told me today he's started a campaign in, guess where, Jay?
Greyhawk.
Hamlet.
Hamlet.
Oh,
Awesome.
And centered around initially Jeru Ashtath.
that is fantastic.
Nice.
I love that. So just thank you for everybody. Yes, Lawful Stupid, Gronk, just great folks on here on the chat.
And
Welcome to the club.
The community is growing. Everyone knows Stella is doing now doing a Salt Marsh campaign in lieu of before she starts to go and do some other stuff. She's going to run through Salt Marsh, so she's got that going. I think it's even tonight. It may be, but so no, there's a lot going on. All right, so
So
Let's-
could
go
we
ahead.
exclude people from the drawing of the Dwellers of the Forbidden City tonight?
what?
Because I'm putting my players forward, and 4 of them are on the stream tonight. So
Well,
I want them to win it.
well, look at
So
it.
Mike, you can't win it.
Look at it this way: if they win, it's the third gift because everyone wants the Bandit Kingdoms over that, right?
Right.
So it's a third.
I
So
don't
if
know,
they
that's a
if
pretty
they
fun
win-
mod.
so I'll make the Dwellers second, and in case one of them get that, then I'll switch it to the Bandit Kings. I'll just flip
There
it
you
around.
go.
That'll give it a little
And
option.
if they get it, they can run it once you finish it.
Yeah. So very, very cool. All right, so we're scrolling through, and here is episode 54 was just up, and I want to talk about that one specifically. That was Era Gygaxian. And that was the first time that I went through, thanks to Jason and Anna, the Gord books. Okay,
Oh.
and that was Jason. That was your big one, man. With us, you talked a lot about details in the Gord books. So, do you guys remember that one at all? Number 54. That was our
Wow.
first Era one. Yeah, we've done Era Gygaxian, we've done Era Sergeant, and we've done Era Pizohawk so far, which were
Mhm.
great Era shows. So,
Yep.
anything stick out, Jason, as far as Gord and the reference to Gord books and what goes on in the Greyhawk community that pops in your head, like, wow, that's cool.
Well, I mean, there's so much in those Gord books, and you have to remember they do a wonderful job of filling in the atmosphere of the Greyhawk campaign. But then toward the end, they also take a step into the abyss. And if you want a really good sense of atmosphere for an abyssal campaign with demons and devils, they're perfect. They really are. They're such wonderful sources. Now, I'm not a big fan of Gygax's narrative prose. I didn't think he did characters well or
Agreed.
his dialogue, but his ideas and his descriptions, they're just fantastic in those books. They're more than worth it as source material.
Dare I say,
But-
he's like Lucas. Someone else should have written the dialogue.
Yes.
Oh, and the characters. It's just Gord is unfortunately a terrible character, because he can't fail. It's just, it's
You're just
it's
childhood. Stop it, Jason.
But that's also part of
Jason
the
is
YA
bluntly,
trope,
John.
right?
If you have never talked with Jason before in a show, Jason is bluntly honest, right? And so.
I haven't, and I feel I'm just honored with this august panel. But yes, the Gord. I grew up with him, and when you're 10, that's like high honor for like fiction. It's like great writing. It's next to Tolkien and all the great authors in history. And I loved Gord, but yeah, I think he's right because I've reread some of the stuff in the last couple of years, and it's a little bit, but
yeah, it's much harder when you're not 12.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right.
But I think we're talking about paladins. I think there's only one paladin in the Gord books. Back with Deirdre from Hardby,
Oh yeah.
and she's a cavalier. And I thought the other guy, was he a magician or a paladin? I can't remember.
You had the barbarian,
Well, Church the Barbarian.
I think he was
right.
I think it was a paladin.
It
but I
wasn't
forgot.
Geller. Geller was some sort of rogue fighter, right?
No,
Geller was a
Bard.
bard.
No.
The old school bard.
Well, he was an old school bard.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure there are these two people that come out, and are they serving like Mordenkainen? And there's Deirdre, who I thought was Deirdre from Hardby, and her companion I thought was a paladin.
Geller was a
But I
bard
can't
according to
remember
Ashur, and Ashur is always right. So, yeah.
Sorry, Jay. I said it with. No, all right, wait.
I'm
It's all right. So
John, I'm like this between Chad and Sal. I'm sorry.
I'm a scroll trying to get a nut here. I'm so glad to be on the stream with all these folks. So you.
This is going to be. I am so happy that we got to 100 because if we go back to, I'm going to scroll back again to the beginning. I was. When we first did it, I was like, "Man, we're gonna run out of topics," and then I realized that's never gonna happen. That's never
Nope.
going to happen at all, and that's what's so cool. But we're like between 125 and 140 people. I want to share this. All right, so if we go to a very, very intriguing Legends and Lore we did. I think it was Wondrous Locations, Fantastic Locations. This is number 56. Okay, and it had one of the funniest times ever. And let me just throw that up real quick. And this is it, episode 56, Fantastic Locations. I want to get this while we have the maximum amount of people on here. This is one of Leonard's gems of all time. Because Leonard is going to tell us, and this is about 4 minutes, okay? But I got to play it. Leonard's going to tell us a couple things. Leonard's going to tell us about why Laurel Tarma.
Don't tell us. Don't spoil
Okay,
it.
all right. Well, and also how his disdain for a certain person in Greyhawk, in the Greyhawk community. So here we go. Are you ready for this great? This is a great Legends and Lore clip. Here we go. Watch, I'm going to hit the Tim, and the mongrel guy's going to come up
I think
instead.
this is the first time you've done some sort of clip like.
There's our Discord, and that link should work. I should have a permanent link up finally. Look, oh my God, I'm fat. All right, Leonard, think of another location that you like, man. It's like fantastic.
I can't hear
I know what
anything,
you're
Jake.
going to say.
No, we can't hear in Twitch. That's the thing.
Audio's not up.
Do you?
Hold on,
I do.
Let me check it here.
You do.
Yeah.
Do you?
How about
It's
Lender
working,
Isle
yeah,
itself?
It's on Twitch.
Well,
Oh,
Just make
you
sure.
know, that
I
got
wanna
passed
hear.
on to me. I finally figured out why.
Yeah, we got reverb, guys. Be careful.
Moved Laurel Tarma.
Okay.
Well, on the hand-drawn map, Laurel Tarma is hanging off the very, very edge of the map. So she said, well, I can't leave it here, so I'll move it. And she said, well, you see that takes the campaign and it has anal intercourse. Because now you've been
I missed that. Did I miss that comment? I don't want. Did I miss that comment? I missed that comment.
The northeast corner, and
I
she
missed
moved
that
it to
comment.
southwest, thinking, oh, see, now it fits.
Oh, so you're saying your hand
Named it to add to
got
the
some
fun.
reverb from somebody.
So it was one of those things that pissed me off about that.
So wait a minute. So it was on the edge of your map that you drew. So wait a minute.
Correct.
So
The
okay.
hand-drawn map by Gary Guy.
By
And
Gary.
you can copy it.
Where?
If you
Who
look at
has
the
that map
hand-drawn
now?
copy, it's,
Who has that map? The hand
Me.
drawn. You have it.
Well, I don't have the original.
Oh.
Obviously, he has the original, but I,
Oh man.
yeah.
Because we've seen a lot of your original works, and I would have loved to have seen that original map. And I bet you Anna would have loved to see that.
I have a scan of it.
You have a scan of that original
Yeah,
map.
if I think it's the one. I have a scan of many different versions that people have thankfully anonymously given me, over the years. So I have a few, and I have one that is 4 big papers that are scotch taped together, so to speak.
That sounds like it.
Yeah,
That
and
sounds like
it
what
has
I did.
yeah, and oh yeah,
I
and
just ran
then
across it
yeah,
yesterday.
and it is exactly, it's on the edge. You're right. It's
Huh.
yeah,
It's right on the edge.
yeah,
right
it's
on
so
the
much
very
on the
edge.
edge. Yep,
So it didn't fit.
exactly.
so
It's on
instead of-
it's written on the margin. Yep.
Right.
Oh my God.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well,
So that was her excuse.
So she just moved it in.
I was at Gygax's home and
Yeah.
he showed me Darlene's map and he said, there's a lot of things here that I was unhappy with. Like she would take a port and center it in a hexagon
yeah.
because she enjoyed centering things in hexagons. He said, but I've got contracts with Sears and Montgomery Wards and other people, where it was that period of time was actually in the goddamn Sears catalog. And there was no way in God's green earth that he could wait for her to draw a new map under his direction. He was stuck. He had to go to press. So he had to go, okay. But he wasn't a happy camper.
Yeah.
See.
So
when
maybe I should look more carefully at this one and then redo my version so we get
Well,
the
she-
correct
She
version.
did, one of the things I remember, she did a short story in the Dragon, and it lasted maybe 3 sessions. And it was love conquers all, that kind of stuff. And she did a picture of somebody firing a bow like this, looking straight out, but they're not looking where the hell they're firing.
Well,
And
like Robin Hood.
we looked at that and we all went, what the fuck are you doing? because her mind was in the clouds, and that's fine, you know. But
Well, it
Leonard's
was
on a
probably
roll
a good
tonight.
it was probably a good looking picture, and then they can say it's a magical bow.
There you go. He bashes the hell out of Darlene.
Aw.
He bashed the
that's
hell.
a shame.
Yeah, and he talks about Lower Tarma and how it was misplaced on the map. Whoops. I got a reverb from someone there.
I think it must be Jason.
Someone's got me a
Yeah, everyone
reverb.
hit mute.
Oh, okay. If someone got a reverb, yeah. So I had to share that on how Lower Tarma was placed wrong and how all the positions on the maps were placed wrong. But Gary had to go to print through the catalogs, and how Darlene did everything wrong. Even her articles in Dragon were wrong and stuff. And Len had a bone of contention with Darlene, which is kind of, but that was Len. Len was such a charmer. But yeah. Yeah, that's a good episode. That was a good one, and that was I don't know if that was when Len started showing up. It was around that era, because
That
we
was
had
one of the
second,
third time
he
it
just
was
started
on, I
showing
think.
up on shows, and we're like, okay, well, we'll have Len talk on this, and
Yep.
yeah, that was a good one.
So one thing you'll notice is different is that nobody argues with Anna about her placement of stuff on the map, right, Anna? We all give you
Well,
a big
that
pass, right?
is
None of us give
it
you a rough time.
depends. In the beginning, everybody had a bone to pick, and they were people told me all the things I did wrong, and
Like
then
Anna, move Rook Roost over. towards
yeah,
the
there was
forest.
like constant
Move Willip over
changing
to the
thing.
river.
But the more my maps became some sort of norm, now I more and more often heard like, oh, it's that on Anna's map, it's canon for me, kind of thing. So the more people I've gotten used to them, the more people kind of agree with me, so to speak.
I appreciate you using this sort of innocuous term norm when reality is legend and canon.
No, I wouldn't say that. I've never been published in with Greyhawk officially, so to speak. So it's just the fan content, just like yours. But I've been at it, and also what I realized that I've done mistakes and learned from it, so to speak. So I've changed and updated the maps every year for like 10 years now. And that, I think that's one of the reasons that and I tried to argue for it. But now when I did the map of the planet, then I got the weird thing, I got the praise first and then the criticisms afterwards. Usually it's the other way around, which is a big plus, so to speak. You get up first and then taken down afterwards. So,
But let's not gloss over the fact that Anna's fan content and Jason's fan content are the two pinnacles of Greyhawk and Dumb Creations.
Mm-hmm.
The Zavoda Index in and of
God.
itself
Yeah,
is legendary, Jason. And I've said this for years. And Anna's map. So having both of you on tonight, you know, we've got we need to get Gary Holian on here, and the
Casey,
triumvirate would be complete.
Casey, well said. And I just got to call Anna out. She said something a moment ago. When I finished mapping the world, how many of us could say those words?
I know I will not do it, so to speak, but at least I've sketched it out a little bit, and we need to have an episode about the planet, because there's so much that needs to be kind of asked, but there will be no answers. But I think that we need to kind of set an example and kind of show people a little bit of what the possibilities are. I think that's that should be because a lot of people have a very narrow view of what's possible out there, meaning, and we need to widen those views on DMs, that there is so much they can do. Every DM.
Annie, you're so incredible. You don't know how much you drop. You just said we need to have an episode about the planet.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a minor thing.
Yeah, a minor thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So John, you haven't been on the Great Chat. So Anna came on last week and she said, hey, here's a sketch of the planet. There's like 8 of us on it, and we had 8 different opinions.
Yes.
And it went till 5 in the morning arguing about it.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy.
I can't believe, like, I log off usually around midnight or whatever on there, and then I come up and I get up first thing in the morning to check Discord for any messages, and there's still people on there, and it's like 6:30 in the morning. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you people? And it's not the European guys like Mac or anything. It's like you know, Gary's probably sound asleep at his desk, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
Gary
we-
likes to snore on. Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have a one or two that snores a bit.
Jace Puppet that. He's all right. You're in there at the weird, I mean, like the middle of the night. I mean, oh my gosh, right? Yeah, that's when the Europeans come on.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but it's great. It's great. And that, like, episode 43, I thought that one was going to be a dud. Fun and Greyhawk. And that turned out to be a good episode. We talked about all sorts of crazy things in that one. That was an early one because we were out of idea. It was one of those idea times.
Mhm.
And like Anna was like, let's talk about having fun. I don't know why it came up, but then we started talking about like festivals and all sorts of things.
Exactly. Yep.
So
that was one of these odd ones, like the economy that I came up with. This odd one.
Oh, that was one of the big ones too.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be a complete disaster, but it turned out to be a good episode.
Number 70, economies and coinage of Greyhawk. And like I said, they're all scrolling through. All from number 30 to number 100 are scrolling through.
I think I've come up with the most weird ones, so to speak. Yeah, Jay, you come up with the good ones, and Mike comes up with a lot of the intriguing, interesting, and I come up with the weird topics that are either contentious or out there.
I try to come up with topics that I've already blogged about. That way.
Yeah.
So, Rich, do you have a favorite? I know which one you're going to. Besides Lord Brezen.
Anything with the sword? No.
I know which one you're going to say.
To be honest,
Isle of Dread.
The Isle of Dread was fun, but I'm with Anna. I like the economy.
Okay.
I think if you have a good economy for your world that holds together, it ties the campaign. It makes the campaign a little bit more of a realistic feel. You know, like why are the heroes, the characters,
number 70,
so much heroic compared to the average peasant? Like, how rich are they, right? Like, how famous are they, you know?
Yep.
And if you don't have a good economy, then you can't really tell your characters, well, look, you made 8,000 gold coins from killing the dragon, and average peasant makes 3 gold coins a year. That's the difference in what you've done.
Yeah,
so
Richard, no, I want to jump in there because I want to give praise to Anna. I heard the same thing. She talked about uncovering the dragon's hoard and the impact that makes on the economy for everything around, and this sense of realism, which I thought I was pretty, realism guy, but like Anna blew my mind when she started talking about the economy and the way these things impacted the rest of the world, which makes it just feel so much more real. Sorry, Rich, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just wanted to cool. Yes, I never heard that before.
Yeah.
And now we need to have. Oh, sorry, go on, Jason.
I was just going to say, if you want to add a touch of realism with a hoard of coins, is back in my heyday when I was doing a lot of gaming, I had $300 or $400 in pennies, and I would let the players, like say the each penny's a gold piece. It's like, how are you going to carry out 8,000, of these coins? It was like just how are you going to do this if you don't have some kind of magical thing to do it, like a bag of holding or something?
Yep.
And then what's worse is like when you're early on, there's the old joke about this one campaign about 2,000 copper pieces, like where the treasure that they kept finding was always like 2,000 copper pieces, and it's like, well, how are you going to get this stuff out of here? But the other thing too is that if we're talking about economy, if you're dealing with like the borderlands, like you do the Keep on the Borderlands and stuff, a lot of these villages and stuff, they're not going to want the coins. They're not going to want the gems because they're living on a barter society. So true. Your players come through with bag loads of coin, and it's like, well, we're not going to starve ourselves because we can't eat the coins. Right. So it's only going to go so far, and then of course, you can play the game where you have a huge treasure, but it's all in old coinage. So if you want to come to like, say, a modern city, you have to trade it for the coinage of that city at a loss. There's a lot of ways. A lot
more taxes.
There's a lot of ways to steal that treasure from the players.
Right. You ever travel internationally when you go into an airport to exchange some currency? You don't get a straight rate.
No, you get,
That's how money changers exist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Living Greyhawk Gazetteer kind of had provisions for that because they have what the different coins are called in different parts of Greyhawk, different realms. And you can do that, meaning some realms, they will only allow the circulation of their own version of the currency. Meaning if you come with some strange and you start saying that, like Scarlet Brotherhood, for instance, they might only, so if you come with strange coins, might only be allowed in certain port areas or like areas that have international outlook, so to speak. The other, if you prong that, then you will be seen as a spy or a foreigner, or foreign agent, and executed or thrown in prison or fined heavily or something. And both for political purposes and keep control, but also to a way to make sure that people don't have any foreign contacts and weed out those foreigners who come in and disturb the peace or whatever it is. So yeah, so you can make a whole adventure about, you have that coin, you need to get rid of it, and then you have to convert it into something else, and vice versa. You find a treasure in Scarlet Brotherhood and you bring it to some other, and they will say, no, oh, you've been there and whatever, and
Right.
yeah.
What are you doing there?
Exactly.
Like going to Cuba.
Exactly. You can turn into all sorts of interesting things. So you have to go through and find out who has the weird kind of coinage. But
or
I was
you
thinking,
go to the Bandit Kingdoms and they don't care as long as it weighs the right amount.
Exactly. That's the
Well,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like Terry Pratchett, he did this thing with his big city Ankh-Morpork, and I think the one character got in trouble with having coins that they said were counterfeit because his coins were all gold, and the gold coins minted there no longer had gold in them. You know, so like a gold Ankh-Morpork piece had no gold in it whatsoever because it had been diluted and diluted and diluted.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but that's, you know, that is something. I mean, the coin and the economy stuff's very interesting. Like if you go to the Gord books, he had a huge amount of great City of Greyhawk coins going down to the iron drabs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which the game doesn't even use, except I use the evil.
And the platinum coins were these lozenge-shaped pieces.
Yeah.
And they were worth so much because they were the rarest of the coinage in the Gord's Greyhawk.
Yeah.
Were those plates.
Yeah, I think that D&D should go from a gold standard to a silver standard. I think that makes
that's a whole other show, Anna.
Oh yeah, exactly. But I think that makes much more sense to have more leeway upwards, so to speak, so than downwards. And then should introduce the iron drabs and the brass bits.
This is only because, Anna, I'm guessing your campaign, your characters are still level 0, right?
No, they're level 1. So but they actually have a few. Yes, they leveled up 10 sessions and they leveled up. Yep.
That's the way you say, like a copper standard for.
Oh yeah, but mine even lower than that. But they've seen gold, so yeah. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of funny. Yeah, I've had 10 sessions. They level 1. They've only had 3 encounters. And by encounter, I said I've rolled initiative 3 times in 10 sessions. There's only been 2 actual combats. And they only got 1 magic items in 10 sessions. And I only lost 1
Anna,
player.
Anna, do you know why I'm angry with you?
No.
Because it's not streamed.
It's not true. Yeah, well, that is a loss. That's a loss.
Oh, yeah. We have to see if we can work on that.
Watch this. I want to learn from what you're doing. God,
okay.
No, Boba.
Players for 10 sessions with 3 encounters and still getting to level 1 after 10 sessions.
Yeah.
I want to watch.
Okay. Then we have to work on that. Yep. Mm-hmm.
But those are the best days, the early levels. You're never going to.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a loss when they start people off at 3rd level or 5th level.
A lot, Jose.
I totally agree. That's why you should make that sweet spot and extend it. That's why I wanted to start 0 level. So I got like 4 or 5 sessions.
Level. Someone does that?
Yeah, some people.
Well, I did it myself recently last year.
Yeah.
It's just that if I like a mid-level game, but I like the low level reaching it. And the only thing is that if you're going to run a little more combat intense, it gets very hard not to burn through characters that are 1st level when they can die. You know, when that kobold hits you with a pointy stick and your character's dead.
Yes.
You know, it's tough.
But that's the magical time, right? Like this is not
the
stream tonight, but that early level stuff. That's why I want to give Jay a shout out because I'm struggling with my Greyhawk Awakening campaign because when you stream every single week and you got 3 to 4 hours of streaming, you get hundreds of hours very quickly with your characters. And so they're now getting on my campaign to like 6th level after about a year. And I don't want to see that keep growing and growing and growing where it becomes unmanageable. And Jay said, hey, stop that. Do chapters and have those same players not retire, but put those PCs on ice for a bit.
Put them on the shelf.
Exactly. Put them on the shelf and create new PCs. I've never done that before. And I'm sure this is nothing, novel for most of you. But for me, I've always played through campaigns with the same set of characters. And I love this concept. So, Anna, I am looking forward to starting my next set of characters for the GHA campaign at probably level 0. And I want to learn from you how to make it fun. And
Then we need to
torturous.
talk about 0 level. Yeah.
And if you're watching the chat, please, Anna, stream. Please.
We need to work on that. Yep.
John, remind me, what edition are you running?
So I run 3.5, but I have elements of 1E, 2E, and I do bring in 5E Advantage because I think that's kind of a fun concept.
Yeah, no, that was a brilliant idea in 5e.
It was. That's like the main thing I liked. But Shift 70 said John doesn't retire players; he just kills them. I'm getting this Tim, ever mysterious Tim reputation, which I didn't, but it's happening.
Well, in 3rd edition, it's been a while since I've looked at the experience chart, but I think at 6th level, well, forget that. Sorry, let me rephrase. The game 3rd edition is built around 13 encounters per level. So
And you have
it
slow-
doesn't
Everything
matter.
is math. Everything is freaking math in 3rd edition.
It's built into
Drives
the
me
Dungeon
crazy.
Master's Guide. They actually talk
Drives me
about it,
insane. Sorry.
I think. So it doesn't matter. As long as you
13
keep throwing
encounters.
average encounters at them, every
Right.
13th encounter
Yeah,
you
but
exceed
you have your
level. Unlike,
CR.
say, 5th
I hate
edition,
that.
where I think
You
it
have your
slows
CR.
down on purpose. So each edition's a little different.
Right. You have
Right.
so in 3.5.3 you have your CR,
Right.
and then you have slow, medium, and fast experience levels like DR 20. But for me, most of my experience comes from role play. I really mitigate the amount of experience people get from combat.
Oh, okay.
I reward role play more than combat. So if you look at my streams, it's not so much about how many monsters they killed or encounters they had. I do give role play for that, or experience point for that. So I'm sorry, but when they role play, I reward that, and you can't do that 3 hours every single week and keep them at. Well, I guess
No.
if you're Anna, you can. You can
Oh yes, you can.
so that's what I want to learn. What you're doing.
Well, so
But see, you can role play combat. I mean, you
Oh yeah.
can do the Errol Flynn combat where they're
Yes.
jumping on tables and throwing goblets and pushing people off of staircases, and like I always like a role play combat where and I understand that's where they got into a lot of things in 3rd edition with the feats, but I like those things to be ideas for the players to do rather than a set mechanic within the game. I like the players to look, and it's kind of like, I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, The Three Musketeers, where he goes to pull the carpet out from underneath the guy's feet, and the end of it just rips off,
Yeah.
and he's standing there holding the carpet,
So Michael,
facing these
Michael,
three
you're-
swordsmen. So
Yeah.
I like the role play aspect, but I also
Huh?
strongly like.
Nice.
Me and John are go at it later on.
Look, just be thankful Tim's not on, because we'd have all sorts of weapons and a flamethrower and all sorts of a bazooka and all sorts of other
No.
things.
We have to.
Yeah, I
Everyone
got my
has to
12
arm
gauge
themselves, and we have to have swords
That's it.
ready here. So yeah.
But I bet my sword has the best sword of all of yours.
Shield.
Okay.
Do you know who forged my sword? It's the
No.
same guy who forged the swords for 13th
I win.
Warhammer,
Yes.
Oh,
Braveheart. And,
What?
that's the wrong
Yeah.
game, Casey.
Yeah. So I was.
Oh, I thought it was a lightsaber. Sorry.
Yes, the
Casey.
same guy who did
Yeah.
13th
It is.
Warrior weapons. Yeah.
Oh,
pretty
that's cool.
and
Wow.
Braveheart.
Wow.
And
That
that's
is not a cheap weapon.
No. It's a couple $1,000s.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Mine
that's a
is
real
the
weapon.
opposite. Mine is only
Mine's-
cool because it's horrible and lousy, but I actually did it myself. That's the only cool thing with
Yeah.
it. So
Well,
so
no,
yeah.
that's the coolest.
I
You
got a
did it
reproduction
yourself?
claim.
Yeah, I
where
actually
was
did
like,
it myself. So
Sorry,
so yeah.
you win, and again, you just win.
But it's
you-
yeah.
So mine's only cool because it was bought by my family and my players this weekend for Blue Box Con.
Oh,
Ooh, congrats.
Awesome.
It's got a blue hilt on it.
Nice.
And so that's the only reason this is cool. I did not make it
Was
myself.
that which crafter was there at the con?
We have many. The Ren
weapons.
Fest here. They have many smiths that happen that show up there. So there's
Very
a lot
cool.
of them. It's fun.
That's
I
awesome.
was there. They bought it for me and gave it to me. So I don't know who. It
Very,
was.
very cool.
Very
Very cool. Well,
yeah, we used to have the balsa wood weapons when we were
yeah,
first
used to
started
beat each other
D&D.
with that stuff.
Balsa wood.
I know, and we did, yeah.
Once again, Tim is not on, but Tim uses real, like, solid wood for his weapons, and you should see the bruise, because he's an armor. He's an armor grandmaster with sword and shield, I believe, and spear and shield. You should see the bruises he would get. You get hit in the face with even with a mask going with one of those heavy wood weapons, man. They hurt. So
Yep.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Well, so I'm trying to think here of. We know what Rich's favorite was. Rich said economies. Mike, what do you have a favorite? As we're just bouncing around a little bit.
Wow. A favorite.
Yeah, well, one you liked a lot. I love weapons.
You know, that's really tough. I should have been thinking about that.
Yes, you should have. Papa Smurf.
I will tell you that I enjoy, maybe this is a cop out, but I enjoyed the recent Paizo one.
Oh well, that was
Only because, you know, I got to hear a lot of that behind the scenes stuff. These were people that I admired for a real long time, maybe met at cons, but didn't actually have any time to talk to them. So anytime we're in that position, I enjoy that. Plus, I get to sit back and, you know, let them do all the talking.
So episode 97 just recently, by far
Very recent.
our number one Legends and
Good
Lore
show.
of all time, highest viewer average ever for Legends and Lore.
Yep.
James Jacob, fifth highest show ever now, because Zeb Cook beat it by like a 1 viewer average over that, and then Ed Greenwood's that D&D game blew everything out of the water. Paizo Hawk, James Jacobs, Jason Bowman, Eric Mona, and they just fed off each other. In particular, Eric. The quick story on this is Eric was not invited to this, so I invited James and Jason, and I said because I didn't want to overuse Eric, because
He's a busy man.
yeah. So I sent Eric a little Facebook Messenger message, and I said, "Hey Eric, I invited them. Want to come talk this era?" And I get a message back, and it says, "Well, I think this would be a much better discussion if all three of us were on." So am I going to say to Eric, "Nah, you can't come on, Eric"? You know what I mean?
No,
So
it was awesome to have them all three on. It was fantastic. Yeah.
So that was a fantastic one, and we're going to have Eric is more than happy to come back with a lot of other things. We're working on the fundraiser that John and I are going to be doing with them, the Bad Adventure, Bad Module fundraiser. And I know all three of them are planning on playing in that. So we're working on the dates. I just got to get them finalized on a date so we can go. It's probably going to be either the second or third Saturday in July. And we'll see if we can do some more raising for St. Jude's running. I don't know which one we're going to run yet. I should do a vote, have it put out to a vote, but I'm scared if I do that. It's between puppets, gargoyles, Child's Play, and the Doom Grinder. So, I mean, what's worse than those? Forest Oracle's
WG7.
No. I'm not running Castle Greyhawk. No, that one is just yeah. Go ahead, Casey. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say this is a fundraiser you're talking about for the charity.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. 2 streams
with Mona in them.
Yeah.
So why don't you take a Pathfinder adventure and convert it to your?
Because he wants to play it was Eric's idea. Yeah. Eric wants to play a bad Greyhawk adventure.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and we do one of the bad ones, the really bad ones. Yeah.
Gotcha. I missed that. I apologize.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's okay. Yep.
Well, then, yeah.
Well, thank you, Dwayne. That was a great one, too. Mike's 1000th Greyhawk Repos, Dwayne Costa. That was a great one, too.
Thanks, man.
Oh, yes. It was.
Absolutely. And I put up my...
I got a couple more favorites now.
Go for it. Go for it, Mike.
So the episode with the Len where he explains the Sil deities, that was mind-blowing.
Yep.
Going into
VG.
Yeah, that was number 47. Laying a Kafka Q&A.
We learned about Aquaman and Ouija. Yeah.
What other ones?
That was an eye-opener. And then I have. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Yep.
Okay. My computer was hiccuping there just now. The other one I'd have to say, I can't remember what episode it was, but the first episode that we had Gary Holian on voice
I'm going to
was
tell
just
you which
like
I
this
think.
world-shattering thing.
Well, the one that I
Yeah.
remember with
For
Gary
me.
Julian had someone else who hasn't been on, who's is on infrequently, and that is Malden. It was the number 60, the Iron League with Dennis Maldron Tetro and Gary
Yeah.
Julian.
But I
That
think
was
we
a
have number
monster.
50. Yeah, and 57, the
one.
Sheldon Valley with Gary
Sheldon.
Julian. I
Yeah,
think
that was
one
Gary's
of the
first
ones.
one.
Yeah, and
'cause
that
once
was an
he
amazing
got him
one.
on there, like Len, then Gary was around all the time.
Yeah, yeah,
It was
that
great.
was fantastic.
And that was
yeah.
that was with Gary as well.
Mhm.
And you know, the big one with Gary recently, which was I think was brilliant, and that was number 90. Where is it? 92. Everything you wanted
With
to know
Eric.
about this one.
Isle of Dread. Yeah.
Everything about the Isle of Dread with Gary
Oh,
Julian.
that
That
was-
one was
Yep.
brilliant too.
Mhm.
So very good.
You got to get him to talk about his Spine Castle campaign, though.
Yes, we
Well,
need to
oh,
have
yeah.
him on.
We
Mhm.
we want to do that, and he was going to do that, but he's been putting out some publications for Earth Journal and this Post Fest is going on. I think, yeah, Arg Scott, you got a lot of odds to catch up on this and Gavin. Trust me, man. And they're all on my YouTube, and that's been blowing up lately, and I thank you all for that. I really appreciate that.
Jay?
Yes, John.
If people aren't watching your VODs, if they haven't followed, we got one question for them.
What are you
What are you
doing? I like that. I like that. Thank you so very much, John. It's wonderful.
Follow up on what Mike said about Malden. Malden snuck into the Cannon Fire late night chat.
When?
I don't know if it was this week or late last week. Just out of the blue for the first time. This is the first time we've talked since the old days, 20
Ooh.
years ago, that he actually jumped on and started chatting with us. And it went until about 2 a.m. So
That's awesome.
Wow, that's cool. So he owes me
was it Sunday, Jason? Anyways, it was recently, like it was within last week.
Jason says it was Sunday night, which is cool. He owes me a Specialty Priest episode on Gavin. Now, I also have, when that happens, Eric Boyd's coming back too. I already got Eric Boyd for that. So it would be Malden,
Fantastic.
myself, and Eric Boyd in a Specialty Priest discussion. I can't wait for that episode.
Oh,
But that'll be
awesome.
a Gavin, yeah.
Yep.
Just tell you something else that's going to be scheduled down the road as well. One of my favorites, Deldawath 73 brought up, Under the Yellow Sails, where that's my wheelhouse, right? And we did the Slavers. We went over all that areas of the Slavers.
Mhm.
It's too bad I didn't have Sean back for that, Sean Reynolds. But we had Primus on, and we found out some great stuff on Sunday night too about that. That was a great episode. We did a lot of discussion about that area, so I appreciate that. Thank you on that one.
Yeah.
Anyway,
We have.
go ahead.
Yeah, we've had a series of episodes that I loved simply because they're geographic. That
Mhm.
might not been that great, so to speak, but for me, it's been interesting. We've had the ones that goes from the tropics. We talked about the highlands. We've talked about the seas. We've talked about various geographical areas and types of places in the Flannies and Greyhawk. So that has been a series that I loved, and I've kind of promoted those and said we need to have them often, so to speak, as fillers. So yeah.
The last
I
one.
remember the talk about the rivers. That was so, very important with Greyhawk because that was a long time ago now, though.
Oh yeah, it's one of and often when I've done a map project that ties into something like that, I say, but now I'm thinking about it, so can we have an episode about it? Sometimes the other ones agree and it turns out to be a good episode. Other times it might not even make it to the agenda, so we'll see. Yep.
We just did Mountains and Highlands in number 94, and that was a good one too. We went over some really neat things there too. Oh my gosh, Canadian, look at all those things you got. That's insane.
Yeah.
Here's one that Casey was involved in that I thought was brilliant. Number 91, Women of Living Greyhawk.
Yes.
All right.
Great
I thought that this was a fantastic episode. And it wasn't that long ago. And we had Tony was on, and we had a lot of other great people on that were
Denise,
involved.
Judy, Susan.
Yeah, that was a great one. It was a really good Living Greyhawk episode. In fact, it's the last Living Greyhawk episode we've done. Normally, we have a Living Greyhawk episode like every 6 to 8, and we haven't had one for a bit.
Oh, every month last
Yeah.
year.
Mhm.
Yep.
Well, I moved. I bought a house. I started a new job, and I'm considering your Eric Mona, Jason Bullman,
As
James
one.
Jacobs,
Yeah, that's
Hazel
kind of
Hawk
a-
one is
mhm.
one.
Okay, well
Because
then
I kept telling you, quit talking about Living Greyhawk. I wanted to save it for a future show, and you just ignored me like
Zip
you
it.
always do.
Well, because I'm an idiot and I do my own things a lot of times, and but I'm sorry. But yeah, we
That's
talked a lot about Paizo and all the stuff that they did in Paizo too.
Well, the Adventure Pass stuff they revealed about Savage Tides, Age of Worms, and what's the one I'm forgetting?
Cauldron,
Taco City.
Shackled City.
Shackled City.
Shackled City
was
and
very
Cauldron, yeah.
fascinating to someone like I've never run them, I've never played them. I used to be super pissed off about Age of Worms.
Why?
But hearing the back because they didn't incorporate anything from say the Living Greyhawk Gazetteer about the Iusian takeover of the Bandit Kingdoms.
So,
Or
well,
excuse me, Ius
like-
the Evil.
'cause-
Not
okay.
even consideration.
There's no Ius in the Age of Worms.
Yeah, all right. They made up for it in Expedition to the Ruins of Greyhawk because there's Iusian all over that, and then they took
Yeah.
Age of Worm characters and situations and put them in Expedition to the Ruins of Greyhawk, which I love campaign tie-ins. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I think they redeemed themselves after
Oh
that.
no, totally.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
Yeah, but it's
I
a good
still don't like
discussion.
that tunnel.
What's
I
that,
love
Rich?
I still don't like that tunnel from Ayu's Lands to Greyhawk.
Oh yeah, that is
gosh.
that's terrible.
Wait.
Yeah.
You don't like that tunnel, but you worked on a tunnel all the way through the Lortmill Mountains.
The dwarves have to fight for dozens of years to build this tunnel. I mean, come on.
I love that tunnel, Rich.
Oh,
you
I
know
love that tunnel. That tunnel I love that. That's a really great part of what happened in the Lortmill Mountains, and Jay and I talked about this.
Yep.
And I do want to say again, the economy thing that Anna did was one of my favorites. But Anna, this was not on Legends and Lore, but you inspired me, and Jay knows this because I talked to him yesterday. Your Patreon post about the old faith and the old gods. And the Urflon, like there was so much inside that has really motivated me in my own campaign. I don't want to say too much because I probably have players watching right now, but just bravo. It was so good.
Thank you. Yeah.
The post.
Well, guys, I gotta depart. It's been
Jason,
wonderful.
thanks, man.
for having
Thank
me
It's
you
on.
so
much
great
for
to see
coming.
you. I'm
See
so
you
happy
around,
that you're doing
Jason.
well,
Yep.
and you're welcome for any time, Jason. You know that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank
sure.
you so much for coming.
And
coming back
we'll
here.
we'll
Yeah.
chat soon and get you on some other specific shows. And have a great night. Thank you
Yep.
so very
You
much.
too. This was great. I'm sorry I can't stay for longer.
No
Take
problem.
care, everyone.
Bye.
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 So
Yeah, thank you so much, John. It's so good to hear that I wrote it because it was like just an idea I had and
Oh, you
how I
don't-
interpreted it.
You don't know, Anna. So I'm purposely not going to tell you because hopefully you'll see it unfold. But it is impacting my DMing in a
Cool.
very
Yeah.
major way.
Awesome.
I
Yeah.
love
So, Rich, can you give us an update on when Post Fest will be out for Cannon Fire?
So, Post Fest, it's up to about 70 pages.
Oh my
So
God.
for those people who
Wow.
don't know, so I'm going to explain to it.
Yeah, please do, because a lot of people don't know about this.
So if you go to Cannon Fire, when we first started this about 20 years ago in Cannon Fire, every once in a while we do this thing where everybody would submit a post on a specific topic. So it'd be like seeds or something. So everybody would submit topics and they'd go in the email distribution and they'd end up finding their way out to Cannon Fire.
for instance, Taverns of the Flaness
Yeah.
or
Artists.
things like
And
that.
so we haven't done one. The last one was number 18, I believe it was. So it's been a long time we haven't done one. So Gary and I were talking. We said, let's do one for the Underdark.
Because we had the
So-
fundraiser on the Underdark.
Right. So it's right after that. So we basically put out a call and said, send us articles on the Underdark. And we've gotten maybe a dozen of them. And it adds up to about 70 pages. We're waiting for one from Alan Growy. Alan's got I think it's about 6 or 7 pages. I don't want to spoil it, but it's really cool. He's several weeks late.
Yeah.
So
Alan, yeah.
but we don't want to put it out without Alan's input into it. So once we get that, myself and Les and Gary will edit it. We'll give it to Oranier. Oranier is going to package it all in a nice PDF,
Yep.
and we'll distribute it for everybody to read. So that's what we're waiting for.
Awesome.
Please note the following, everyone, and that is that both Carlos and Alan Groy were supposed to be on tonight, and both had work things come up at the last second that kind of majorly conflicted with being able to hop on for these discussions. So they both wanted to give, and I'm going to link out their sites there. But we would love to have them on, and maybe they'll hop on at the end. You never know. But just note that they both were scheduled to come on tonight.
Was one of those work things that Alan had working on the Postfest?
No, it was another country that got involved, and as far away on the planet as you can get. That they had to have the meeting the exact same time that the show was streaming, so kind of threw a wrench into everything, unfortunately. All right, so some more eclectic, bizarrety ones. Well, they weren't bizarre, but we did number 77, First Family of Greyhawk, Grasitz, Igwolf, Ayus, and Drelsna.
Yeah,
Drelsna.
that was a fun one.
Yeah, I'd say fun's the right word for that one. That was fun. Number 90, Personalities and NPCs. That was another fun one.
And we had 66 secret societies. That was a good one too.
Gary, I think, contributed to that one a fair amount. My gosh, second hype train of
and
the
Mike
night.
had a lot of cool ones too there. Yep. That's when I brought up. That's when I actually started writing about my old faith. After we done that episode, because that was when I took my notes and tried to formalize it and structure it better.
On secret societies.
Yep.
Okay. Also, we did one, Famed Dragons of Greyhawk. I know Will helped us out a lot with that one.
That's probably one of those repeat episodes, Anna.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
we talked
no,
about
sure,
dragons
that's
back
one.
in. That was one of the first 3 or something we did about dragons because it was kind of obvious we wanted to
All
talk
right,
about
we
dragons.
haven't even talked about the first 29. Give us, Anna, Mike, give us some memories from the first 29 episodes.
We had technical issues in the beginning because I had to kind of run OBS and the only plus was that I could share my screens easily, but the problem was that I hadn't figured out the video resolution and stuff, so some of it was blurry and that didn't work out well. But and Mike and me, we're not that much of broadcast personalities, either of us, so there are probably some awkward not saying anything, reading
Were
the
the episode
chat.
shorter?
Well, I think it was 2 hours. I think we did 2 hours back then too.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we strived to do 2 hours, but it was, we read chat and then we didn't say anything and then we talked a bit. So I think to be 3 and to have Jay's broadcasting mentality is awesome to have on the show, so to speak. I think that is
So I had
a
to
huge
dig
plus.
onto my blog, and September 10th, 2019, we had the Lord Gazumba channel in Legends of Lore special crossover event.
Exactly. Yes, that was
We
the
talked
first
about-
one we did. When
That was
we
a
Great
Gabbin.
City.
All right,
That was a Gabbin.
All right,
Mhm.
I'm going to tell...
So that wasn't ours.
That was a
his.
Gabbin. So
We
that was on the
showed up
Greyhawk
on-
City.
yeah,
That was a
okay.
Greyhawk City discussion.
Yeah,
So let's
Yep.
talk about that, the grand
that one's
plot.
fine.
Let's talk. All right. I don't want to offend anyone, but who cares? So Anna and I at GaryCon in 2019 were talking. And
Gen Con.
Gen Con, I'm sorry, Gen Con
Yep,
2019.
Yep.
And Anna's like, we're talking about moving the show over. Well, the Greyhawk channel still exists at that point. I said, it's not the right time. I don't want to look like we're pilfering a show from another channel. Let's just let the course of nature take its course. And that's what happened. And then, so I said, but let's do some things where we cross over some shows between the both of us. And so we came up with, and I'll have to look at my Gabbin list, but we came up with a crossover event where Legends and Lore and Gabbin crossed over together, and we did one on Greyhawk City. And that, Mike, you're absolutely correct. That's one of my, I'll have to take a look at what number it was. But that was like a test. That was like a test, and it, it went very well. And then, so we did 4 episodes in Legends and Lore, and thank you all for the huge support. Two hype trains on Legends and Lore, unbelievable. We did 4 episodes in 2019 on Lord Gazumba channel, Legends of Lore. So it was near the end of the year of 2019 that we did the episodes. So we're looking at
We started with Undead of the 20s.
then Works of Carlos Lysing,
Yeah.
Create your own adventures. Knighthoods of Greyhawk, and then Saltmarsh Then and Now, where we
Yeah.
compared the old Saltmarsh with the new Saltmarsh.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
those are the first four we did.
undead that's a topic we haven't touched specifically in a long time. So it might be see if we can have some good angles on undeads again.
Yeah. We touched on it a little bit in 72 Famed Monsters in Greyhawk, where we went
That's
over
true, yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Where we went over.
But
some
there's
of
always
them.
Halloween later this year or something. We can do an
thank you all.
undead episodes again.
Hey, there's another idea right there.
Yep,
Mhm.
absolutely. So,
Yep.
Rich, I'm going to ask this question to the whole panel. Are you ready? And I
Yep.
just want a quick answer. Strahd, is it in Greyhawk? Is he in Greyhawk or not? Strahd von
No.
Zarevich? No.
No.
John, the original Strahd, the original Ravenloft, Strahd von Zarevich, is he Greyhawk or not?
No. It was not Strahd. No.
Mike?
No. If
Casey?
Gary Holian had his way, it would.
It would be?
Oh, he likes, like the Isle of Dread. He'll pilfer.
Yeah, Strahd was not. He was later. He was not.
The original,
Strahd-
the original
Strahd on Greyhawk
Ravenloft,
is in canon, right?
the original Ravenloft is very, very early, right? So,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it was the adventure by Weiss and Hickman.
Right. Yep. I
Right.
know.
It was right before it was a setting, but I don't recall
Before it was
Strahd
a
was
setting.
in that. But to me, Strahd is from Earth, along with the Renee.
Thank you. So Casey says yes.
Why aren't we arguing
No,
that it's in
Earth,
Dragonlance?
Earth, not Orth.
No, I say Earth. Well, whatever. He said Earth. So what was that, Mike?
I
What we?
said, why aren't we arguing that it's in Dragonlance then?
Because Lord Soth is in Dragonlance, and I want to poke my eyes out with those
No.
words, those Knight of the Rose
So the whole
books.
soft Ravenloft thing happened behind Weiss and Hickman's back, right? And he got super
Ooh.
mad about it, didn't they? And retcon.
Ah. Mhm.
Why did I ask that question? I just wanted to see what the answers were.
Yeah, but
That's it?
I say
Oh,
no to
sorry.
that too, because first of all, now he has his own place, so to speak, and I never felt he was a real perfect fit
No,
for
we got
Greyhawk.
Rosalind.
Yeah, but in Greyhawk, but you can use him for for a lot of inspiration. But there's still plenty of vampires anyway, and that's another episode. We can have an episode about vampires in Greyhawk. That
Or
would be
not.
Including Jay's favorite, Thrommel. I mean, that's
exactly
Oh.
yes,
Would a vampire paladin be an anti-paladin?
yes. I think it would because he'd be lawful, perhaps. But
Yeah.
No.
that's an
Vampires are
interesting.
chaotic evil, right?
Yeah.
Chaotic evil.
You guys
So it's
are
right down that
terrible.
paladin.
Blackguard.
And third edition also kind of made some weird ones, like in Alhasser
Thank you,
in
Crazy Cyber.
the
Thank you so very much.
in the Paizohawk era, they had a silver dragon vampire that was kind of
In Age of Worms, right?
Yeah,
There's
in
the
Age of
Silver
Worms,
Dragon
yeah.
vampire.
No, Thrommel
Yeah.
was not Strahd Gitano. No. All right. So
So you get some weird ones we have to dissect a bit. So too and yeah.
I did
And there's those strange
Ravenloft
ones.
and Ravenloft 2 in my Greyhawk.
Hmm.
I did. I put them in Fury on the. Okay, just it's an estate. That's it, and you can have
Yeah,
Discussions then.
I used
not the setting. Just
I
the
used him
adventure.
as
Yeah,
inspiration
Castlevania
for my
can go down, too.
Black Splinter in my Rel Devon campaign. I used a lot of influences and ideas
Absolutely.
for Black Splinter, but for
This is a whole nother show.
It is a whole other
Exactly.
show.
Yeah,
it is. You're
Vampires
absolutely
of
right.
Greyhawk is
Because
definitely
I am
Wild
not ever
Southwest.
doing that show.
yeah. Hmm.
Talking about the
Did you-
demi-plane of dread, like to me, it's
Yeah.
the plane of nightmares or
Yeah.
whatever the hell
Yeah,
it
we
is.
can do and
Came later,
meaning-
right? I
yeah,
haven't
and
read
Ayus
I6 in
has
30 years.
vampires in his service and stuff too. So yeah.
So Jay,
Thank you.
for Andy, did you put Ravenloft where Bronze Blood Haunt is?
I did
Sorry?
not. I did not. I
That would
Oh.
fit, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
It
it's probably
didn't.
perfect
The
for
original Ravenloft is what 85, 84, 85.
I thought
Yeah,
it
it's
was earlier.
some-
Was that
Early on.
No,
yeah.
it may be 86.
Wow. Okay,
Oh,
wow.
oh my
Yeah.
God, yeah. The original Ravenloft module is very early. It was hugely popular. Yeah, because remember that article? It said that it said Adventures. This is my home. It was on all the covers of magazines.
Yeah.
It was
Mhm.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was yep. And 83. There you go. I knew it was early. It was early. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was, and
okay.
we definitely. What's up, Gimbal? Good to see you. Oh my gosh, Mitch, thanks. Oh, there we go.
Got
Yeah.
there. Let's
We
go.
got there. Another 5. Oh my
Yay,
gosh. Thank you,
awesome.
Mitch.
2 level 5 hype trades in one stream. Let's go, Jay. Come on, we're gonna get there.
That's okay. I appreciate all the support, and just note that we're going to keep
Yep.
on doing what we're doing in the whole community. We're going to keep on pushing this community as hard as we can to get this community growing as much as possible. And that's why we're all here. And I really, really want to say thank you to everyone and to celebrate this 100th Legends and Lore, which is,
Yeah.
it's great. So I get this occasionally on the boards, especially on Facebook. How can you have 2 talk shows? What do you have to talk about? Are you I mean, I get that all the time, and I'm like, are you kidding me? And it's usually from, everyone knows where it's from. It's from the old school gamers guys. Those guys, they're like, you know who I'm talking about, Anna.
But the idea is that the shows have a different focus. Meaning the Legends and Lore is supposed to be about the setting primarily, so to speak. Talk about Greyhawk as a setting and all that. And Gavin is a show that you started to talk about your campaign, your game, and so on. That should be the focus, so to speak.
Exactly right.
And
you could talk half your life about this stuff and not get a lot of not get there. So
Plus, we're old, right, Jay? So we forget from one week to the next what we talked about. So
oh my gosh!
Conversation.
Oh my gosh!
Over
absolutely.
and over and over again.
Absolutely.
No, so well said. And I've said this many
100%.
times. This is the game which provides endless wonder.
Mm-hmm.
The enchantment never stops. So you could talk about your campaign world, different lore that happened. You can additions, character classes, things that happen in your game. It just there is nothing that could ever end the wonder, and that's different than anything else. I just love this game so much because you can never run out of topics. So your lore masters, your legends and lore, your Gavin, all these things will always have content.
Oh, and the great thing is that we are, I think, we're starting to reach out to those that are new to the game system.
We are
Greyhawk.
Yeah.
It's taken 3 years.
Those
Really.
are those hipster people, right?
What's that?
Those
You-
hipster people.
See, yes, that's Rich.
Whoa,
Yes,
whoa, whoa,
the hipster
You-
people.
Rich, that's my community.
Hammer.
Chill out, bro. Chill out, bro. That's my community.
Don't scare them off, Rich.
Yeah, no. Like, we love the hipsters. We love the new folks. We want to. That's the whole idea that Jay and I talked about, is expanding this to people beyond, those with gray hair.
Yes.
Well, Jay dyes his, I think.
No. Oh, you knew that was coming. Oh my gosh. Good one. You got me there, John.
Jay's in sales, right? So
I don't dye my hair. You can ask my wife. I don't dye my hair, but that's okay. For another,
I need
a topic
there's no
for
shame.
a topic for another time.
It is.
All right, Rich.
Yeah.
Best guest ever to come on a Legends and Lore.
Lord Breslin. I knew that. He was fabulous. I mean, I'm not just saying that because he's my roommate. He was just very good.
The Soul Lord.
That's right.
Man,
No, I gotta say, like, it's a toss up between Ed and Eric Mona.
okay.
They're such cards, and they love our hobby. I mean, they just love it. They just love it. And it pours out of them, and
but
it's very exciting to listen to.
Mhm.
So those two are my favorite guests, if I had to pick.
Yeah, I want to add James Jacobs to that too, and they're fun.
Okay.
And Jason Bullman, he was a bit shy the first minute, but once he opened up a bit, it was
Right.
and the same thing with Chris Pramis. Yeah, that there's so many awesome guests and luminaries from the gaming designing community and stuff. There is so many now, and they've all been awesome in so many ways. And David Zepp Cook was fantastic to talk to,
Man,
and Sean K. Reynolds and Stephen McFarland and Randy McFarland. Meaning there have been so many been like 30 or 20 or something. It's been so many guests over the years now that.
I mean, you had Skip Williams on.
And he was
Exactly.
on an actual Legends and Lore. And,
Yes,
and,
yeah,
and,
and that was
that was-
very interesting, and yeah.
yes.
And we got to know that Worth map, the Dragon Annual 1 map that has been
73.
infamous, was done quickly over a weekend. So
Jim
we
Ward.
now know why
Yeah,
it
that
looks
Ward.
like
Yeah,
it.
that was Gavin too.
And every
Yeah.
single one had these little tidbits of information, right? And
Mhm.
someone,
Yep.
Jay, we need to somehow go through your old screens and have a page where we list all these little hidden lore that we learned from each guest individually.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
That would be good.
thank
Like,
you.
If we had somebody amongst us who was very good at writing blogs, maybe that person could go through all put together these things.
Look at Mike.
This is
Mike's
fine.
like, don't volunteer me for
Delete.
nothing.
Delete.
Some blog guy who's retired might want to do that.
This is
Yes.
I make lists, and that is it. That is it.
Yeah.
So
It's you would need an intern or someone getting like an
Thank you.
actual college degree in Greyhawk lore that finds this show and go like, holy crap, they had Jim Ward on who said he invented the term Monty Hall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah,
Or
which is one of my
Weejass
favorite
is
terms.
Wee
I
D.
love
That to me,
I'm going to give you another one.
single nugget.
I'm going to give you another Leonard nugget. He created the spell Nystel's Magic Aura. I did not know that. He told us that on a show. We also know he knows nothing about the Unearthed Arcana and Dream spells. Okay? Because I got him to... What? That's a limited
Right?
wish.
He didn't use
And
anything
Luke
from an
Gygax doesn't know the range of acid arrow.
Yeah,
that-
that was, yes, I still take Razin from that, but that's all right. That was another thing.
You told him that he can cast it that far. That was
Because he can't.
wow. Yeah, but that was
You can't
that was
cast
a
the
tough.
freaking
That was a
Muscle
tough
Sarah
one.
300 feet.
Yeah, but that was a tough one. Yeah.
I think we can give credit to Mike and Anna for creating the show and
Hey.
bringing it to Jay. For Jay having Ed Greenwood play in his campaign because
Yeah.
you have the connections are made. You guys to me, Nita, Eric
But it
Menge,
was a lot of
Eric, you know,
circumstances that was
Ed.
good that led to this, and
Right.
first of, and also all the community that supports us to do this. That's the key in this.
No,
Makes
and
us
when
want
you
to
talk
come back and
Yeah.
do it.
When you talk
Absolutely.
about community, we talked about this earlier. We just had someone jump in again. The Honeybee Crafter, Danny. She's part of our community. Very young lady, new to D&D, only played 5e previously, and a great crafter. And we are expanding this community bit by bit by bit with people that love old school D&D. It's great to see you in the chat, Honeybee. Thank you.
Absolutely. Were you at the? It was Honeybee. She was. She was the picture with Time Lord's wife, right? All those
Yeah,
pictures.
no,
eating
she's like, no, she ran the whole thing.
That's
Because I had
awesome.
to disconnect
Yeah.
from this because it was my birthday, and I didn't want to be the guy. So she stepped in
Very
and
cool.
no, stop. No, you're lying. It is all true, Honeybee. Danny was amazing. She had her cosplay. She organized things. She told people what to do. Walked around my house and just said, "Do this, do that, do that, do this, do this." She was amazing. And this is an example of expanding the community beyond old guys like Jay and I, even though he dyes his hair. We have lots of new folks jumping in the community, and I love it.
And it is.
absolutely.
May you live in interesting times. So let's, as we make that discussion, let's just say that if you take the streamers, John, myself, you take the Living Greyhawk aspect of it, Casey, and all the Living Greyhawk communities, and Eric Menge, who comes from that community, and Jose Ortiz, who comes from that community, and Tony Winslow Burrow comes from that community. You
Right.
take the mega stars, Eric Mona,
Jason Bullman,
Ed Greenwood, Jason Bowman, all those.
SRM.
All Eric Boyd, okay, he's playing the game now. You take Cannon Fire, Rich, Gary, and all the other people who make Cannon Fire. You take Greyhawk Online, Christoph, and he does a fantastic Earth Journal, Last Earth Journal, another great publication. You take all the bloggers, David Leonard, right? Tommy John Kelly, Mike. I know I'm missing a couple. Jason, I know I'm missing a couple. I apologize if I missed
Alan, you're
Alan
talking about
Crowley.
bloggers.
Joseph
Alan
Paul.
Doe.
Carlos, Will.
Carlos, yes.
All right.
Greyhawk
Yeah.
Ragnar.
All right, you take that whole, and you got all the people around who are all participating in games. You take the wonderful Cannibal Troy, Canadian Ancient Gamer, all the other people who regularly watch my show,
Will?
watch John's
Mention
shows.
Will?
What's that?
Yeah, Will. Did you mention Will?
Yeah, William Henry DeVore. You take all that, and you have a growing
Gaetano, yep.
Gaetano Lefavi. You
Mhm.
you have Chuck. I didn't even. I don't want to push my
Yeah.
sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
Troller
And-
Games
and
Reaper.
You're in our thoughts and prayers, Chuck. I know you're going through a lot right now, but you
Yeah.
are very much in our
Yeah,
thoughts.
you take
Mhm.
that all of them, all of you, from whatever channel you watch, and from wherever, and then you take all the new people that have come in the last 6 months. Kayla and Stella, big time, and all of Stella's followers like May and all them, and you're going to see all them soon. Next Saturday, monster Saturday night special. I can't wait, and with all those Backloonish people, Rich. Those Backloonish
Extort
characters.
for your shield.
Extort like
Yep.
this. All right, so you know what, everyone, I'm not going to play it. It was a gabbin. I don't have the clip, but I cried when I got that. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
that was
live.
That was awesome.
All right,
Yep.
and then Tim, I did for that.
I
And then-
never cry.
And yes, and Anna ties the whole thing together.
My
Absolutely.
players know that's not true. So
I know we're missing someone. I'm gonna in the upper left-hand corner. You see all my heraldry scrolling through, and up here, and I would have never learned how to do that if it wasn't for Brian Blumklotz, right? So Brian and John just met
Yeah.
Brian a couple weeks ago on
Parasinus.
Zoom. So there's another person. Tim doesn't count because Tim's insane.
No,
I'm
Tim
kidding. I'm kidding.
no, he
John.
texted me today. He killed some kids today, I think. So that's a joke.
Yeah, he did. No, so Tim sends me a text. Tim sends me like last night because he had his kids game with his son and some of their friends last night, and he goes, "I killed my own NPC with a critical hit, an axe to the groin on the triple damage. I can't even."
He
Yeah.
sent me the
Wait,
same message.
With the kids game.
I'm sorry. Jack, he sent me the same message, and I misread it. I was too tired. I thought he told me he TPK'd his whole kid.
No. He just
I know,
he
I know.
killed his own
corrected me.
NPC
I
off.
was wrong, but it was so funny. Like, oh, you killed all the kids. Okay.
Yeah.
Tim. He said, no. This is the NPC.
I mean, but and Tim, if you all know, for anyone who's new to the stream here, Tim and Walt, I know Walt's hanging out here tonight too. Colby, he should be, Colby 609's a moderator. Walt and Tim go back to 1980 with me. And adventure number 1, the Battle of Outpost number 1, that adventure was the first one I ever ran for them in 1980. And Alan goes back to 78, where we did a lot of basic stuff, but the campaign started in 1980 with them. Yeah, that's how long I've known them, for 41
Speaking
years.
of community,
Awesome.
we've got to give a shout out to the people who supported the charity effort. That got this charity to
My gosh, it
$10,000.
was-
Yes. Wow.
Yes.
Yep.
So the
DM 8675309.
DM Tommy Two-Tone?
You're on my list,
215.
and you know it.
Yes. $300 to $400 in anti-hero points for me to try and kill off Garn.
Yeah.
I tried.
And Garn survived.
Yeah. Dave, that's
Yep.
Dave. Yeah.
You could take it.
Oh,
Yep.
there's Gary.
That's right.
Yeah.
Garn is like Drax in Infinity War.
Yeah.
I can take it.
So, Gary, we did a bridge, but we talked about, so Gary, Pluffett Smedger had just hopped on good. I know, Gary, you're so busy with the move. Sorry you couldn't come on tonight. Jason Zavoda was on for a while. But yeah, I think one of the best ones recently, Gary, was your Isle of Dread. So
Why do you keep calling his Isle of Dread? It was Mile of Dread, and Gary assisted me.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Rich. Is that true?
Yeah, it was. The one where
Rick,
we
I think
talked
you
about
may-
how the modules from Savage Tide fit into the Isle of Dread. Is that what you're
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah, I thought that Gary wrote that article in Dungeon
did.
Magazine. What's that?
He did.
Oh, okay.
He also
Rick,
showed
I
up with
think-
that little pamphlet, right?
Now, did you put that together and just put his name on it?
No. I just
I would
teased
say,
him. I
Rick,
just
Rick,
teased
it's so
him, but-
good. I think you just
Thank you.
challenged him enough for him to come on.
Well, that was my
Jason was very peppy.
my attempt, right? Try to
Yeah.
get him angry enough to jump on and
Yeah.
Oh, see, he's goading him. So
What episode was Gary and Mona on together? That's happened, right?
no, that was a Gavin.
That was a Gavin.
Yeah, it was a Gavin. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
That was number 101. That was after 100.
Because
That was 101. We're up to like
You need to have
147 Gavins. What's
okay,
that?
you need to have Gary, Mona, and Sean Reynolds, and I guess this Fred
Whining?
whining guy is
Fred's
no one
passed.
can reach, right?
Fred's passed.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot he had died. Like, get those three on. You know, and
Well-
there's another show for you. Just
Well, that's a good idea. But I think that Gary would come on with the editor show too, right? With all the editors of Earth Journal show, which I think will be fantastic. We got so much content coming up. Your Knights can't even win a joust. Oh gosh! Speaking of that,
Darn wasn't in that.
Speaking of that, a little shout out. So we had a big meeting Saturday morning. Casey was there, Anna was there, and we decided, what are we going to do for the main event of Greyhawk Con? And now last year I had an adventure. And I'm like, I don't know if we want to do that this year. And I said to the participants, well, the joust was hugely successful, but I don't want to do a joust again. Retro Gamer Meth, Mike Saxton, I'm not sure if he's on tonight, is printing for, whoops, we lost Mike. Mike will probably hop back on. Is printing for me this, okay?
Oh,
This
an
is
arena.
this is from my sponsor, Infinite Dimension Games. Oh, with Mike coming off, we have someone else coming on. We have another special guest coming on.
Oh.
So we're going to have a grand
Yay!
melee. Alan Go, hey, the Crow Dog.
Hey, welcome.
Hey, Alan. Yes.
How are you guys?
So there will be a grand melee during. It'll be the main event during Virtual Greyhawk Con that Saturday night. So and there will be open signups just like there were for the joust. Good to see you, Alan.
You too?
Alan, you were the first Legends and Lore number 30 on my channel. So we talked about that with Undead. So you go back to the beginning here. So how are you? How are things?
Good. I just got off a call with folks in India for work, so I'm happy to be here instead.
Wonderful.
Yeah, very, very cool.
Well, I want to be so quick to say you're happy to be here because your name did come up a few minutes ago. And the question was, when is the Post Fest coming out?
Oh, yeah.
And everybody said we're waiting for Alan to submit his article to put it out. So
It's true. I am the long stick in the the slow quicksand or something now.
So as soon as Alan gets his in, that Post Fest will get out to everyone. It's 70 pages now, right? Rich said that'd be awesome. So, by the way, thank you all for the great support tonight. A ton of people on tonight, 2 hype trains. It's been wonderful to celebrate the 100th episode. So, Alan, do you have any memories of any great shows maybe you've seen of Legends and Lore?
I think probably my favorites have just been the ones that I've kind of either hopped into just sort of at random, where it's just been a neat topic that's kind of caught my ear, or where all the stuff we had with Leonard was, I thought, great stuff. So
yeah, and we did the Leonard post where he bashes Darlene like crazy. I put that up where Laura, Sama, Valeris. There you go. That's the tabletop event. Now you can just look at that. There's no, you can't sign up yet. Here's the Discord. All right, there's the Discord for Virtual Greyhawk Con. Thank you for asking. Please go in there. There's always stuff going on. There is a Leonard Lakofka archive group on there that consists of Anna and Puppet Dad and Josh Pop and who am I missing? Alderon and Grape Ape, right? That are putting together this adventure for general publication to everyone. Oh, my pleasure. So, Alan, I'd love to, we're going to have an Ask the Experts coming back on for Greyhawk Con that Sunday night of October. So keep your head up for that October 3rd, Sunday, October 3rd. We'll have another finishing Ask the Experts. So
yeah, I've had a couple folks make requests for the sessions that I'm going to run at North Texas if they were going to be run later in the year virtually.
Oh, great!
So,
Oh, okay.
Very, very cool.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect timing for that.
Is that in Denton at the university?
It's at the DFW Marriott Airport North this year. So. It's a great show. It's about it's normally about 400 folks or so, and it's very old school focused. And they have a lot of TSR and other industry people there. So
Nice.
you can meet. That's the first convention that Errol Otis was coming to. He came to GaryCon again eventually, but he's been there. Steve Perrin's been there from Chaosium.
Parentland, Steve, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a different.
Oh, it's
that's a
okay.
different
So it's a different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the frogs go to that one too a lot. All the frog god people.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would have
And the
loved.
Troll Lords are always there, and yeah, it's always a good time.
Are they going this year?
I believe so. I think I saw them in the vendor hall
Okay.
layout. So I will be there for Black Blade this year. So this will be our first convention since
Excellent.
the previous North Texas, I guess.
Yeah, I would have loved to go this year. It's just I couldn't. Since my work is like corporate's 2.5 hours south of that, I was trying to work it out, but there's there's a travel restriction still for our corporate, so.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I didn't want to show up in Texas and they're like, "You're in Texas," so yeah, wouldn't be a problem. So John, give me an idea for something you'd like to see in Legends of Lore if you can. You're always good at this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, what you mean besides paladins and anti-paladins?
Mhm.
I think that's a Gavin discussion. Yeah.
No, so like
There's Chuck. Speaking of devil, Troller Games.
Oh, hey, Chuck. No, I think for me, I would love to see more happening in the Sea of Dust and the Dry Steppes. And
Cool.
I love all this, it's sort of Dark Sun-esque stuff that happens in that area. That's one of my favorite.
Okay.
I don't like straying away from the canon of medieval sort of European style. That's my favorite. But the closest thing I've seen to that is Dark Sun, which feels to me Dry Steppes and all the Sea of Dust. And there's so much lore there. I played one session. It was my one shot for Virtual Greyhawk Con last year. Was in the Sea of Dust. I had some sand and some stuff here. And there's some great content there. The Thri-kreen, the Jehol, which I put in the Orth Journal. I think that's a great area for us to explore.
So without Richard going crazy, we need to get Indicarus. I know I saw you're still on in chat. We need to get him back on and really go over what some ideas for players to do a Zeef Ekbeer campaign to change it up a little bit outside of the European style to get into that backloonish game. I think
Bloodwild said, I like Athasian halflings. I like Athasian halflings. I like Athasian elves. Really different style of elf. And I like the Dragon Lords. There's a great lore in that 2E version of Dark Sun, which I think can be, to Anna's point, where else in Orth? Let this grow. And I think those things blend so well together. I'll shut up, Jay. Sorry.
You're good. You're good,
Yeah,
man.
that's great.
Right,
Yeah.
John?
No, it's great, man. You can babble on. Absolutely. That's what the show's for. The show, as you can see.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
what the show's
The
for.
filer, yes.
Yeah, I could see some really cool things coming out of that. So that's another idea we need to, along with the new starting area discussions, with Hamlet or wherever we go and we go into them in depth. I think we should get Asher, are you on? We should get a one discussion on Great Kingdom starting points, right? I don't think that's ever been done. Now, Carlos could talk about the 9, which is in that area. We could do that. We should
Which was
go.
awesomely fun to play.
Yes, Alan, you loved it. You loved the 9.
I did. It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Okay, that was very cool, and that was during GaryCon, and that would be another great starting point to discuss. Alderon, see you, man. Thank you for coming on, man. Thank you for your contributions. Really appreciate it. That would be cool to start opening up some areas of discussion for DMs to get some help. Skageth Start Zone, a basic omelet. Yeah. How about this, Skageth? Monk only starting zone. I'm sorry, you're just gonna.
Yes, monks in Greyhawk.
I'm just trying to get Skageth to go a little
He
crazy.
didn't even
there.
mention the best starting zone, which is you wake up
The
in
Bannock.
the slave mines near the Rift Canyon. You are
Uh-oh.
a prisoner of IUs. Now go.
and you read this book from cover to cover.
There
But we're
you
giving
go.
away one of these tonight. If you didn't know, this is one of the 3 giveaways. So
Since Mike's having troubles,
yes, $25
Yeah,
gift.
we all
Yeah.
have it ready here. So just in
$25
case,
gift certificate to CSL, the Bandit Kingdoms book, and a copy of Dwellers of the Forbidden City by Zeb Cook. So we will give away all them. So, all right. So it's
some more love.
yes. Thank you so very much.
And Jay too. Good job on this. It's
Thank you.
gonna get framed eventually.
I appreciate that. So just note that Carlos and I are in discussions to get JS2 out. Okay.
Ooh.
All right.
Yeah.
So that
But Casey, also just note that neither Carlos nor Jay have sent me a copy of that. So
I think I had to buy mine.
what?
I have given out copies.
Yeah. No,
I
I'm pretty sure, but
have.
I was happy to support.
I've given out copies. I've
I
given
can
out.
vouch they gave it out. I think I won the first one, right?
You
Dick?
won the first dual signed copy, Rich.
Yeah.
You did. You absolutely did. I think I've given out 4 or 5 dual signed copies. Keep them, a little rare for then when you see them at the con in person, whenever that may happen, maybe Gary Con next year. I'd be more than happy to sign them both. It would be great. So it almost does.
Have we talked about a Gary Con Greyhawk presence again? Starting to get that rolling for next year.
Great. Well, Alan, I shared the nice message that Luke sent me and how he was very, very surprised how popular our streams were and how well it came together. And so there'll be stuff going in the future. The big question mark, though, Alan, it's a great question, is what do you do if we're there in person? What happens to all the
streams?
4 days of streams? Because it's
Yeah.
not that if I go, I can't coordinate it, right? I mean, it's almost impossible to do both. So that's a tough call, man. But we got to keep that momentum going.
There's this 8th level magic user spell clone you might have heard of.
Yeah, but
Yes.
I'm already a little insane. So it's a great point. So, but there'll be some things. I am excited about Greyhawk Con coming up because we're going to have a whole bunch of new streamers involved that were not involved in either Greyhawk Con last year or Gary Con this year. And we'll have some more good channels, and we'll have some really great content, and we'll have some fun, great sponsor giveaways and all sorts of wonderful things. And Casey will have a new tournament, and Alan will have some great old school content. Alan, I don't know if you saw the post. There was a post on Old School D&D about them complaining about where do we go to play old school games anymore? And I linked you and Carlos and Catano and all of us, and I was like, oh my gosh, So that post just happened, I think, yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So ask Marquesa for some help with the clones. So we also learned, and this was Sunday, Cathay. We learned that Chris Pramus was behind Marquesa and how she is now in that Slaver's book. That was all from his work to mine, which is really cool. I can find someone when he can. Yeah, we need to. Old school's is a great thing, and but all editions will be welcomed, of course.
Step forth.
If someone wants to play fourth, they can play
that.
fourth. Absolutely. If someone wants Dwarf Beans.
Fourth was the only one of all the editions I couldn't get into.
Yeah.
Same. And
Yeah.
that's such a sort of a rote sort of. But I tried.
Me too. I tried, and I just.
It felt so contrived and so mechanical, and I just could not connect with it.
Well, you know me, I didn't step off of 2E. I pilfered from 3E, but I never stepped off of it. So we never went to 3.0, 3.5 ever. So fourth is better than fifth. We'll have an edition war tonight. We'll save that for another
go.
night show.
Yeah, we should have we should have an episode of edition wars. We can kind of put that behind us.
And we could tie it into, does Greyhawk work better in certain editions? Because to me, Greyhawk works perfect in 3.x and Pathfinder.
Yeah, we can even advance it to other editions of fantasy roleplay, like Pathfinder, Savage World, and talk about, can Greyhawk be implemented? Have anyone tried it in certain game systems, and what aspects would work better and what would work?
Sul
You have to
Imperium
home-
Ars
you have to home
Magica
roll.
game is on my
Yeah.
bucket list.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that will be a
Hmm.
great episode to talk about different game systems to play Greyhawk in.
Yes, I think that's a
Yeah.
great idea. And Asher had a good point here. He loved 4E production. It was a really good production. So it's
Mhm.
5E. 5E has amazing production quality. That's what
Yep.
I love. Content, including D&D Beyond, that is amazing as a tool. I wish it was available
Right.
for 1E, 2E, and 3.35. Like it's amazing. Nice art, exactly. But TSR is better than Hasbro or WotC. I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm going to get you in trouble, Jay, but I just feel like the old school TSR
I
stuff.
am always in trouble, John. I'm in trouble with someone. You always do that. All right, so this is what I'm going to do. If we do Edition Wars, I think that's a gabbing over Legend Lore. If we do Edition Wars, all right. If we do Edition, if we do Edition Wars for Greyhawk, I will bring Sly Flourish back. Okay, and I will try and get Matt Koval on. I will try, and then
Okay.
we'll
Yeah.
really have at it. All right, is that fair enough? If we do an Edition Wars one,
Yeah.
I will try and get them on. So,
But you don't need to frame it as an edition war. We can, but
Alan, Carlos, and I will be on the old school side.
Mhm.
John Casey can be the 3.5ers.
3.5. Let's go.
And we'll let it work. We'll let
And
Sly.
I'll give 5th edition some love with Sly.
I do I like 5th edition a bit, and I like 1E and 2E, but 3.5 is the perfect amalgam.
Right.
It hits right
If
in the middle.
you had to run a holodeck simulation, you could run it with Pathfinder.
Yes, exactly.
So you got me for my hair, which is not true. I'm going to get you back, John. Someone on their chat last night, instead of having a D&D stream last night, said I may be running a 5e game on my stream soon. Who said that, John?
I said I could modify 5e. I'll get rid of all the nerfed rules I don't like. There'll be no short rests. There'll be none of this nonsense I've seen with unlimited alignments for like lawful neutral druids. No, true neutral druids, lawful good paladins, long rests. I'll fix all those nerf rules. I just like D&D Beyond. It's so cool.
Okay, that's
The short rests are fine. It's the long rests you have to fix. Generally,
Well,
fifth
okay, so
edition.
maybe I don't know the rules well enough in 5e, Casey, but to me, short rest, I thought you could like take a couple hours off and get your spells back.
What you can take 1 hour and you can sometimes get 1 spell back. The long rest is 8 hours. You get all your hit points back. That rule goes in my Ghost of Saltmarsh.
You're right. I hate that. That's even more. Yes.
No, terrible.
Yeah, I give my players, depending on where they rest, in an inn, on cold stone, out in the forest, 1, 2, 3 hit points per night. No such thing as getting all. So that's a long rest. You get all your hit points back in 5e.
Not really. It depends how you
Yeah.
roll, Casey. I got
No,
you.
that's the base rule. And then the Dungeon Master's Guide does have some variants,
Okay, so
which
I'm
is what
sorry,
I
you
use.
were
But
saying?
there's a lot of optional rules in DM
Right.
Dungeon Master's Guide that make it real gritty too. So that they have option rules for the gritty variants too, if you want to use
Gotcha.
them.
Okay, so that so to Jay was taunting me here, but yes, I would not let people get their hit points back for 1 night of rest. I don't want them getting spells back for an hour of rest, Casey. I want it to be
1 spell's fine.
I just like D&D Beyond.
D&D Beyond's pretty awesome.
It is.
All right, so let's ask Alan this question and Rich this question. I know Rich has his own system, but if you had to play Greyhawk in what setting, and what system, I know, Alan, what would you be playing it in? I mean, that's
I mean, like, what do I play Greyhawk in now, or like
Yeah.
if I wasn't allowed to pick what I play in?
well. No, if you were allowed, have you ever played it in like, are you 1E only all the time? That's what I'm trying to figure out for Greyhawk.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm playing now. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I played some great 3.0, 3.35 kind of time frame
Okay.
stuff when I was in California. So I
Okay.
had a good time with that too. But,
Ever played 5?
yeah, 1E is my preference for Greyhawk.
And why? Why would it be your preference? Just
It's faster for me to run.
Mm-hmm.
And I know some folks have been able to run, and that could be like creating NPCs. That's what really broke me on 3E was creating NPCs and all the multi-layered stacking bonuses and stuff. It was just like, oh my god,
It is
I was
crazy
statting up
situation.
Zane. I was statting up Zane for Rob for
That's
Mods 4, and it was just like, okay, I don't need to do this anymore.
That's a fair point, Alan.
That's fair. But you can also like move past that, right? You can shortcut it, you can make it quicker and just get right. Any addition you can make modifications to, right? So in 3.5,
Agreed.
want to shortcut the NPC creation and make it a little quicker, you can. But yeah.
Rich, how about you? I know, Rich, you got your own custom system.
Yeah, I had to customize my system because none of the D&D ones worked. For me, Greyhawk is about the average population being a bunch of unwashed peasants and very gritty, very dark, very dangerous. And first edition is probably the most dangerous edition, so that would lend itself the best for the Greyhawk feel. Third edition, you start to get into that superhero, and when you get to fifth edition, then it's way too fluffy. It's not gritty enough. So I'd have to go 1, then 3, and then 5. Well, 1 and 2 together because it's pretty much the same.
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
So 1, 2, then 3, and then 5 in order of preference to run Greyhawk, the grittiness of Greyhawk, the danger of Greyhawk. In fact, if you walk out of your village more than a couple of kilometers, some monsters come out of nowhere and kill you.
That happens in third edition too. Just
You know,
have negative hit points in third edition. In
yeah,
1E, are you dying at 0, Rich?
Yeah, you die at 0.
You die at 0. Alan, you die at 0.
Depends on how you play it.
Not me.
You might get knocked out at 0 and go down to -10.
Yep, that's
the thing is, Kate, is that in third edition, you can be a 9th level character with 100-something hit points. In first edition, you're lucky if you get 40.
No. Look at Jay had his characters up for his high level game. Now I know these were high level PCs, but you had someone with 150 hit points.
Yeah, 12th level paladin with 18 con.
Yeah,
that's 40. Yeah.
That's insane, Jay. That's
yeah.
I mean, Rolf only had 66 hit points.
Hey, there's a quick fix to anything in 3.5 or any other. Tim's crit tables. It doesn't matter what you have. You get that nat 20 and you hit a bad crit, you're dead. And I do like the danger of the game, so I think any addition that can be modified.
Yeah, I just find I love third edition for what it is. I enjoyed the character building of third edition, the flexibility of building characters. A blast in third edition. It's the best edition for that. But when you start getting aristocrat levels and merchant levels, and you get all these merchants and aristocrats with a bunch of hit points because they got about levels in scribe or something like this, it takes away the Greyhawk feel. I mean, these guys should be scared of.
That's fair. Yeah.
Right, and that's the part that I didn't like about third edition.
Yeah.
Well, that's a whole nother show. Let's table this for a future
It's a
show.
good discussion. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So note this: if you want to see 5e converted back to old school, just tune in tomorrow night when I finish Xanthoria from Tony Winslow Brill with super high level characters. That's as high level as it gets, and I'll finish that up tomorrow night. So you guys. I know we totally want Armin. I know, but we're trying not to.
Yeah.
We're trying not to.
Well, I wrote my own system, Armin, so I really don't care which edition. Because mine is aligned for Greyhawk. I designed it to give a gray, gritty feel for Greyhawk.
No, I agree, Rich. And to me, the addition doesn't matter. I can modify it anyway. I want it gritty. I want dangerous. I want players fearing for their lives at all times. Yeah. I'm not actually Tim. People think I am. I don't want to kill characters, but it is part of the game, and you can make that happen in any edition. So yeah, I'm with you, man.
Yeah, you want them worried when they get to a door. Do I just walk through, or do I listen? Do I check for traps? Do I see if there's a monster on the other side? Do I hear growling? Okay, guys, let's buff up before we open this door. It's going to be dangerous. That's what I want to see in my game, right?
I'm the same way. If they're not scared and checking for traps every 10 feet, you're not a good DM.
Yeah.
Our thief failed to check for traps on a chest in Bill Sylvie's 1E game on Monday night, and released poison gas into the room and took 5 characters out.
Nice! When did that happen, Alan?
What levels?
It was the characters were 6th to 9th level, and
holy jeez, they all failed their saves.
5 characters failed their saves. 2 got brought back, including mine, through neutralized poisons, and the other 3 died.
Who was DMing, Alan?
What was
Bill Sylvie.
Wow.
What was the needed
So-
save? Do you remember?
Probably
I'm sorry.
Do you remember
tens.
what the needed save was?
Well,
Like, or they have
It's
to
a
Well,
poison
my-
save, so it's based on your class and level.
The first day it was probably 10. Probably a 10.
10?
Yeah, my paladin's poison save base is 11.
Yeah.
Right.
So they all, wow.
So, Alan, were
Yeah,
these
roll.
PCs that you guys had actually played from, say, 0 or first level, or was this a one shot?
No, these are campaign PCs. So,
PCs, 3
so
dead.
my character is a replacement character. I'm playing a paladin of Weejas, and she's a replacement character for my elf fighter magic user who got married and retired.
Nice.
And so my character came in at 5th level, but I think the fighter magic user when I started was maybe, I don't know, second or third, because other characters were,
Sure.
a bit higher level by then.
When you retire a character, you get to start one closer. I feel like that's fair.
I didn't get quite to start as high a level as I would have liked because I was 5'7" at the time.
So Dave just hopped on and said, if I give anti-hero points now, does Casey's character get whacked off screen? Let's be fair, Dave. I really don't want to kill off a character unless it's on live stream so everyone thinks it's on the up and up. But
Just tell him, yeah, you can kill Garn off screen, but Garn's just gonna get a free true res off screen too.
absolutely.
If you're going to play off
Yeah,
screen,
but we're gonna make you an
that's
embarrassing death, Casey. He gets run over by like a cart or something.
That's
most
fine.
of-
Garn's done.
Dave, come on next Saturday night and scare the shit out of all these brand new players that are playing in old school Greyhawk for the first time. They're all 5e players, never played in Greyhawk except for Stella and Kayla. Come on and scare the crap out of them, giving them me anti-hero points and see what happens. That's what you want to do. Yeah, you want to wait till next Saturday. So Gary Julian asked a question. Gary, I've tried. Gary asked, we want to know about Anna and Mike's contributions before on the Lord Gazumba channel. And I've asked multiple times. And Anna, what have you said? It was a mess. That's what you said.
Well, it was a struggling beginning. It was not anywhere near as polished as we do now. It was like technical issues at times, and Mike and me aren't broadcasting personalities, either of us. So it was but we did as well as we could with zero experience and started literally from knowing nothing about how to do this. I watched a couple of YouTube videos on how to get OBS up and running, and the only thing that I guess was really skilled at was getting together the kind of the look of the show, because that's still there. It's still the same Photoshop template you use, Jay, to put together the stuff here. So that is something that was kind of, I set the tone almost immediately, and we kept it ever since. So that's kind of cool. But it was it was a start.
Yeah.
And the ambitions were there, and we had some good discussions too, but it was only the two of us, and then we had some guests and stuff, but it really, thanks to way more interaction with much bigger crowd, they're coming with good questions, good comments, and a lot more. The community is with us now, and we're part of the community, and we didn't start out that way. So it was humble beginnings, but it was important beginnings, because it got me to realize the potential of this.
So
when
much
you were
so.
starting streaming, the whole live stream and kind of the online shows and stuff it was still pretty early at that point, right? Anna?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, because I didn't know I knew live games and Critical Role and others, but I didn't know any live talk shows about RPGs. So, but I realized that we should have that. There should be one where we talk about the setting and stuff like that, so we can get new players in, not only a live play with players that already knew about Greyhawk, but something that people can come on and ask questions, and we can kind of bring in guests and talk about the different topics and stuff, and inspire people to game in Greyhawk. That was the whole idea of the show originally, and hopefully that is still with us. And I think so, because we got more people into the community and more people coming in, and
Of course we're running late.
maybe even some people just coming in randomly from just looking at Twitch and interested in D&D and wonder, what is this Greyhawk?
See you,
and
Patrick.
what are they talking about?
Thank you so very much. See you tomorrow night.
And then, yeah,
Thank you.
Nate.
See you, Patrick.
Well, so I know John's got to go too, but I wanted to say this. Anna sees the value of this so much that we're adding another show. Okay?
Yes.
Probably
Mhm.
once a month.
Yeah.
Shout out one more time. But Anna and Alyssa Faden I'm going to host a show with them on map making. Okay,
Mhm.
we're gonna
Yeah,
work out the
fantasy
details.
cartography. So,
Fantasy
yeah.
choreography, and have all sorts of other guests on. That's a new show it's in the works, and hopefully within the next 6 weeks we should have the first one up.
Yeah, hopefully we can. Yeah, something like that. Yep.
Yep. So just so everyone knows that, John, I know you got to roll. Thank you, man. You were.
Oh, thank
thank
you,
you for the
John.
generosity too. So
No.
Yeah.
hang as long as you can.
No, I got to go now, but I want to say thank you to everybody. It was so fun to hang with the group here, and such an august panel, as I said earlier. And I want to echo Anna's sentiments. The whole point of me getting on stream, I played D&D since I was 8 years old. Many of you have heard the stories. I'm like, I turned 50 last weekend. But it's about expanding the community, and this game has brought so much to me. And when I started Twitch streaming, I thought, is it going to mess up my game and people watching and not going to be as immersed as we were? And it was the exact opposite. It brought immersion. Thank you, Pip. So many people joining now, and Anna's right. We're bringing younger players, newer players, people that played 5e, and then they jump into Greyhawk and they learn about the old school gaming. People that didn't even know the name Dave Arneson or Gary Gygax, didn't know Alan or Eric or any of these folks that were so engaged.
The Voda Index.
Right, exactly. And they start getting exposed to what we're doing here on Twitch, and it expands their horizons. And it's just such a fun thing to watch new players join in. We had Blue Box Con last week, Jay, as you know.
Yep.
And I got teased a bit because half the people here were half my age or less. It's like they're just enjoying the game, and I love expanding this game for everybody. And Jay, you have been such a help to me, and I just love this community here with Lord Gazumba and all he's doing. So thank you, everyone.
John,
have a great night.
Thank you. It's a group effort.
Thank
It's
you.
a community effort. Thank you so very much for the
And
kind
happy
words.
birthday. Yep.
See-
Happy late birthday.
See you soon.
See you, John. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
So
Real quick community shout out to Rich and Cannon Fire talking about Greyhawk and the community. Anna, the postcards, Rich.
yes. Oh
Yes.
gosh, don't say that.
Everyone in the
still know one.
audience should
There-
go take a look at the postcards on Cannon Fire.
Mhm.
That's not the right link. That's the Greyhawk Adventures one, but there's a postcard link. So if you want to know about an area, almost every area is done. There's a few that aren't. You can go, and there's postcards done by a lot of community members that have done a very nice job with it. It's mostly canon. Rich threw me a bone, and the Free City of Altamira is in there. But it's mostly all actual published source sites. Think of Great Kingdom, Ratic, wherever, Zeef, they're all there. So really cool, Rich. Great idea. And I believe, Rich, was that your idea?
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
So for people on the chat who don't know about this, Cannon Fire, we asked a lot of these longtime authors who like certain countries to write a little postcard, like half a page, on each specific country, and it lists the resources you can get for that specific country that are published or not, or online or whatever, as well as a description of what that adventuring in that country would feel like, and some adventure hooks for that country. So Casey did the Bandit Kingdoms, and Gary did, he's going to do Lordship of the Isles and Keelan. Jay did all the Ulick states. David Leonard did, the Frost Barbarians and whatnot. So a lot of names that you'll recognize have done specific postcards. Andy Karras did Zeef, which is great. So go take a look at those if you're new to Greyhawk or old to Greyhawk and just are curious to see what other authors think of countries. It'll give you some ideas to adventure. I got excited. Every postcard would come out and say, "Ooh, my next campaign should be there." And then somebody else would write another postcard like, "Oh, this is cool. My next campaign will be there." Right? So it was a lot of fun.
So
It was a great idea.
I have to say, Gary, I have to say thanks. So Gary just put in a post, if you were online in the community in the late 90s, Altamira would have been canon. Well, that is high praise, Gary. Thank you so very much.
Oh, yes. Oh, that's fantastic.
So I have some regrets, as we all know, but I don't have a lot. You can't change the past. And 2017, thanks to that stupid Robert Wardaw video,
Yeah.
we are where we are today.
Mhm.
You know, all because of that video. And you know, it's
And also Mark, I have to shout out to Marco. He was the first one in your
reach out to
circle that I talked to at Gen Con, and
Yep.
and he mentioned you, and but he mentioned my DM, and he might have mentioned your name, but I forgot about it. So when I saw that video, it was like, oh, that must be him. He was talking
Yeah,
about
you
it.
thought I was
Yeah.
Robert Waterhill.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was kind of, yeah. And then thankfully when we connected the year after, then that got me straightened out. So yeah.
Rich, do you need Melcautius still for the cards?
Yeah, we don't have
Okay.
a card for that.
Okay. All right. We need to.
But it's not on the list. It's an optional one. If
Oh, it should be.
yeah,
I
if
mean,
you
it's
put it up.
yeah.
Speaking of back in the '90s, so Alan, myself, Gary, a bunch of us were on the Gold Great Talk email distribution.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm glad about this because, like John was saying, there's a lot of new people who's trying to bring on board, and they see us old folks with a little bit of gray, and they get worried, you know, that we have all this knowledge and everything else, and we've been in it forever, and we're old and grognards and all this stuff. Well, when we were on this Great Talk back in the '90s, we had Gary Gygax on it.
Wow.
And we had,
Rock
remember,
Girls. Yeah.
so we were the youngins, right?
Wow.
Eric Mona was a youngin like the rest of us. And here we have Gary telling us we're idiots and we don't know what we're talking about. Sean Reynolds swearing at us. And like, so we were the youngins trying to learn about Greyhawk back then. So
And you guys were doing this on AOL.
that's right, right?
Now, let me poke fun at that for a second. And some of that stuff made it into Living Greyhawk Ridge.
That's
My
right.
compatriot Theo, Austin Judd, goes by Theo, used to be on these chats, and he would just grill Gary about Stoink.
Right. So you know, if you're new to Greyhawk and you look at us like we're old grogners or whatnot, imagine we had to go through when we had Gary Gygax calling us idiots, right? And we survived. So just enjoy the journey. And in 20, 30 years from now, you'll have new guys coming in calling you guys old and you know.
Or Len's just saying no.
Or Len's
Yeah. Len say just no. Yeah.
The grognards have mellowed. I certainly hope so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
To the-
So have fun. Just join the community.
Yeah.
Jump on
Most
Discord.
of them, Gary.
Most of them. We
Yeah.
had
Right.
we've
Maybe
had we
go
had
into,
an
like-
issue on Sunday night we won't discuss.
Yeah, there's the occasional little hiccups,
I
but
haven't
then
caught up
nothing
to that
compared
video.
to how it used to be. But it's
Well,
Don't go to Tinker's Tavern if you want mellow grognards. Right.
Don't
Greyhawk
don't get me in
community is the
trouble,
best.
Casey, with bashing
Yeah.
anyone. Come
but,
on,
but
man.
the Greyhawk community is better now than I think it's ever been in that regard. That it's kind of a
Oh my
welcoming,
gosh.
big community where people can
Good night,
have
Megan. Thank you for
wonderful
coming on.
discussions and ideas and stuff. And
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe I should have said don't go to Dragon's Foot if you want mellow grognards.
There you go. Listen, the community here is wonderful. I am so excited about everything that's coming up. I'm so excited that it was Eric Mona's idea. We're going to do a second fundraiser, a second one for
Yes.
St. Jude. Bad module. And, I'm going to DM for Eric and Jason and James a bad adventure, whether it's puppets or child's play or gargoyles or whatever it is. And John's going to do one for the Tailspire people. And hopefully we can raise a lot of money. And that'll be in July. And then, Virtual GrailCon back in October. Then we'll worry about GaryCon 2022 after that, Alan, right?
Yep.
What other, Alan, what other cons you attending this year? You doing Game Hall?
So no, I still haven't been to Game Hole yet.
Okay.
I keep hearing great things about it from
Mhm.
friends who've
It's a
been
great
there and
convention.
stuff. Yeah. And I know Alex would put on a fabulous show because he's just so organized and
Right.
Mhm.
and stuff. But yeah, I haven't been to Game Hole yet. So my next one's going to be North Texas, and that'll wrap things up until the fall for me. I'll do virtual GaryCon again, or GreyhawkCon rather.
Beautiful.
And then we have a local con in Wichita, Tsunami Con, which I'll do.
Oh, cool.
And I don't know if we're going to have a virtual component to that or not, but some of the scenarios that I ran at virtual GreyhawkCon last year, I ran also at virtual Tsunami Con.
Very cool. That's exciting. That people have asked for a virtual component for what you're going to do at North Texas. That's great to know.
Well, I pulled out some grognardly stops, I guess. I have a Drow hit squad for the PCs, and they are
Oh.
working for Eclavdra
Oh,
and Lime,
Nice.
and they are going on a hit mission in Relhai Sinlu. So
Ooh,
wow.
awesome.
Well,
It's not that
that'll be
tough.
the first sold out game if it's available on Virtual GreyHawk. That'll be sold out in 10 minutes, if that.
Hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah! Wow, that sounds
You know
awesome.
what? Clava's not that tough. I mean,
Oh
it wasn't
gosh,
super out.
no!
Don't start
Lord
that.
Breslin killed a Clavdra. All right, Alan, Lord Breslin, who's was 5th level, killed a Clavdra.
I think I'm 6th now.
Oh, okay, you're 6th. It wasn't my game.
But this
So-
is
He had a
early on in
softball
Clava's
DM.
career. I got her before she started to bud. You know,
well, there you go. See,
Yes.
makes a difference.
579 or something like this.
Dungeon Lands, the module I've liked the least. Being, yeah, I'm going to do something. I Campy. I think Campy's the way to go. So it's going to be one of those 3. Doom Grinder's the worst one I've ever seen, but I don't think I can do that in a 4 or 5 hour sitting without really hacking it apart a bit. So I think I'm going to go with one of those other 3. We'll get there. We'll get there. I got some final discussions with Eric Mona. By the way, there was a question a while back about what they're going to do with Greyhawk. I forget who asked it. Okay, and I forgot. Puppets may be the way, Biggin. I forgot. So note that I'm talking with someone at WotC now in the background about what's going on, and there's a possibility. There's some cool stuff, but WotC doesn't realize what they have, and that's the word I've got. And they just don't know what to do right now. They're going in 20 different directions. So that's what I can tell you. All right. So there's stuff going on. Just note that, and I will keep you posted. If WotC ever lets these people come on Gavin, we will have them and we can ask them some questions. But right now, WotC is not allowing them to come on any talk shows. So that's where we are with that. Just so you're aware, I'm trying to get them on. So I think it would be a great discussion. So just note that. All right. So I know we're running a little late here. It's great for a wonderful discussion. So why don't we? Yeah, fun times, absolutely. Why don't we do some wrap ups here and talk about some highlights for Legends of Lore, some highlights for the community, and then we'll do some shout outs. So Anna, what kind of Legends of Lore highlights you want to discuss, finalize here, or talk about?
I just want to thank everybody who made this into such a cool thing, and all the people that have been in the audience, everyone who's been guests, Jay, Mike, meaning, yeah, all of you who are here and in chat and stuff, made this such a wonderful thing, and I just love doing it every week. It's fantastic. So yeah.
Yeah, we're
Thanks.
TBD. We're whoops. Did I knock Casey off?
Yeah,
Okay,
he
you know,
had
I was like,
there he
I
comes.
did- I
Yeah,
did
he comes
something.
again.
So
he froze a bit. Yeah,
just note next week is TBD because we haven't even talked about it yet. So
exactly. We haven't we haven't even thought about 101
Thanks, Gaga.
episode. So yeah.
Yeah, we got to get there. So Casey, wrap up Legends and Lore, and if you can.
Well, just again, Mike and Anna, you're huge pillars in the community, even before the show. But the show has helped the community reach itself, so to speak, if that makes any sense, and get new members and connect with the older bloggers and the newer gamers. And like without you guys, we would never have heard Stella Luna imitating a baby owlbear.
Oh yeah, that was
Very-
that was
very
fantastic.
gaudy,
Yeah.
you
mhm.
know,
Yep.
things like that. So thank you all, and then to Jay for being the producer extraordinaire
Yep.
of this show, and for giving the Living Greyhawk people an audience, because I was the only idiot dumb enough to write a book. It took me a ton of time, and okay, it's sold some copies, but we all know I'm not rich from it. And I was in grad school, so all right, yay, I did a book. But getting these people on the show has allowed them to tell the rest of the world what was going on in the region. What was the campaign like? What does it take to run a living campaign that has tens of thousands of players, hundreds of adventures? Thank you guys for giving us a forum to tell these stories, because it's also allowed us as people to rekindle friendships or acquaintances. Like my buddy Britt was in my wedding. He's over in Korea, but we're talking about old Bandit Kingdom stuff, because of the show, and Joe Selby for Divers and Vernon for Verberbach, and
Yep.
It's been really great, and I hope that people have enjoyed hearing about the Living Greyhawk stuff. So, other than the Living Greyhawk shows, though, I would say the fact that the friendship you guys developed with Lynn.
Yeah,
You know,
that was
very
also
special.
fantastic. We've had so many of the old luminaries that helped make Greyhawk originally, except Gary, unfortunately, because we were 10 years too late.
Yeah.
But we managed to cover a fair bit, and then we have more in the works that we want to come on the show too. So yeah.
And we have Alan Hammock this Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
I mean, that's going to be a fantastic discussion.
Yep.
And Casey, thank you for
Yeah, thank you.
I'm never giving Casey +1 items anymore because he tries selling them all. By the way, so I'm like, no more, no more 3+1 short swords. No, I'm kidding. But so note that I have 2 Living Greyhawk groups. I have an all-star group. And I also have the Ed Greenwood group, and they're all repeats. So I have 4 other groups now going on Saturday Night Specials, in addition to my normal group, all entwined in the same campaign setting, which is really
quite
cool.
frankly, you have your charity special events, tables as well, and they're kind of going to be repeats going forward in the future. And I think we're looking at June 12th, I believe, for the next Cannon Fodder game. We haven't seen Garn and crew.
Yep.
In a while. So we're working on putting that together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I may do that Twitch survey DM on YouTube because there's surveys capable. Mike's internet has cleared up, so Mike's going to come back on for shout outs. So I got him back on there. So there we go. Yeah, it is really low blood. I just can't. I can't run for historical. That one's it's boring. Yeah, I want something stupidly
welcome
fun.
Back. Yeah.
So, Rich, you want to tie up some stuff here for Legends of Lore?
Yeah, like I want to echo what Casey said, obviously. And you know what the nice thing about this is that Legend Lords and all you Gavin and the rest of the Twitch shows, and even the one that John is doing Blue Box, I look at your numbers, and every week they seem to go up. Number of people listen, and that tells me more and more people who are used to be part of the community are either coming back, or people who are new to the community are coming in, and they get to know each other's names, and they get to know about the Greyheart Discords and everything else, and they get to know where to go to get more information to improve their game. And it's great. I mean, that part's beautiful. And to give you the best example, my 21-year-old son said, "Hey, you have friends on Twitch." And I'm like, what? Because until then, my friends were useless, right? Now that I'm on Twitch, it's like, cool. You actually made it to the modern days because you guys are on Twitch now. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So getting on that, my son has an 11-year-old friend who's like ninja, and then he watched the Ed Greenwood game, on Saturday. He's like 10, 11 years old, and he's like, "You had over 200 people at a time on your thing, almost 300. Oh my gosh! The only other guy who I watch is like Ninja and Shroud." I'm like, "You can't." Yeah, there's no comparison there, dude. But that's kind of cool. I mean, is it cool that it looked up to a 10, 11-year-old's actually watching you? Hey, maybe there's a hope for the the next generation of D&D player. There really is.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely.
That's pretty cool. So, Alan, thanks for hopping on late.
Yeah.
Sure.
What would you like to say to tie up?
Hi, Alan.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, Mike. I think I saw you for like 12 seconds when I first hopped on.
Yeah.
What would you like to say in the tie up here for the 100th Legends and Lore and what's going on in the community?
Well, I think everybody said so much about how you guys have helped bring people together for this, and it's just great. To me, I think that you guys make it very easy to be in the live stream and to participate, and you make it real comfortable to be here, and it's very welcoming. And I'd never done a live edit stream anything. I've been like WebEx meetings for work and stuff like that, but I've never done anything like that before, and you guys made it real easy. And I was very pleased to be invited, so thank you for having me.
I wonder,
But-
COVID era had anything to do with it.
That might have been helped in a way
it
because
helped.
people sat home
Yeah.
and had much less to do. So the pandemics might have been a little bit of a help, so to speak. So it's bad in so many ways, but not
Giving
for
praise to
Twitch shows.
Incabulous. I want none of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Mike,
Sorry, Alan.
if
Yeah.
you go back, well, it's a good point, Mike. If you go back to March of 2020, Gary Con gets canceled. They give us 2 weeks to put together virtual Gary Con, and they asked me to do. I got all these streams together. I did Stefan's stream and all, and it went fairly well, and we had a lot of good stuff. Remember, I said Ass Hurt the Bear and all that. So remember that
Yep.
that all went on, and then from that, Anna and I are talking, and we're like, why can't we do a virtual Greyhawk Con? There's no reason we can't do it. And from that came virtual Greyhawk Con, knowing we could do it, and then that, it just built and built and built and built up. And so the answer, Mike, is yes. It's an unfortunate positive side effect, but yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I think based on our age, I mean, I'm still only 25, right? I've been 25 for the last 25 years. But based on our age, I think most of us, our children are either gone or old enough to take care of themselves and leave us alone. We were ready. I mean, we were ready to dedicate more time to our hobby because life has gotten easier, less heavy. So between that and the COVID, the two together really made it a perfect timing for us to slip back into our old ways like we were when we were 20s.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's true. I started a Roll20 campaign with some friends just because of coronavirus, and we're now going on 13 or 14 months strong.
Is that the one with Joe?
It was. Joe stepped back.
Okay.
He needed to reclaim some of his time for his personal life. But this one's not set in Greyhawk. It's Dragon of Icespire Peak and its sequels. But ties into Greyhawk because the sequel, Storm Lord's Wrath, was written by Sean Merwin, former Keelan Triad member, who's a freelancer or author for Wizards of the Coast.
Yep. Definitely. Mike, what would you like to say? Thanks for coming back on. Finish up this 100th Legends and Lore.
I'd like to say that 100 episodes went by in a flash, and I think you guys did a good job covering the time. But otherwise, I'm just hanging on for a drop again.
Cool, Mike. And what's going on in your world, man? What do you got? What do you got exciting going on? We'll do some shout outs.
I'm somehow been roped into Rich's world, so that's
oh, nice.
That's a dark place to be.
When's the game? What night of the week? When do you
When's
play?
the game? It varies.
Okay.
Usually Monday or Tuesdays.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I mean, I'm in other games, but that's probably the most interesting one, Greyhawk wise.
Awesome. Rich, what's going on, man? What do you got cooking?
I'm actually quiet these days. I don't have to whip many people. The postcards are all but done. The only person I got left to whip is Gary. So Gary's got to do a few things for me. But it's quiet. I'm waiting for inspiration for my next project, to be honest. So,
well, there's gonna be some stuff coming. Always.
I gave a dog write up to Carlos the other day. So Carlos is doing this charity event for dogs.
Cool.
So I sent him a dog write up, so that'll appear in his document, whatever he's going to put out as.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, and you're waiting on the Cannon Fire Post Fest.
Yeah. Just waiting for Alan's.
Waiting on that.
Did I mention that? Did I
Zing!
for Alan? I'm just throwing that out there, just in case it wasn't mentioned.
No worries.
Yeah, I told you.
So
Sorry,
for
Alan.
those who are wondering
All right.
when my next blog post is going to be, 1001, let's say if Wizards of the Coast puts out something for 5e, I'll jump
And Greyhawk.
on that. In Greyhawk.
Wow, you're taking a
I'll
long
jump
break.
on that.
I thought your 1001 post was to do the write up for Lord Breslin's interview with Jay. I thought that was your 1001 blog post. No?
Oh my.
No. That would get my whole blog taken down, I think.
Is
Hey,
is
Gary
Lord Breslin
Foley.
coming back on the show again anytime soon?
No.
We'll see. We'll see.
No.
It might not be. Yeah.
We had him on, and
Tough guest.
I was there.
we
Yeah,
may,
very
yeah, you
tough
were.
guest.
We may
Yeah.
have him versus the Backlunish on one time. We get the Dickerson on at the same time. That would be.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't want to get a 30-day ban. So
Exactly. Yeah, the show might get banned, or the whole
Yeah.
channel might get banned. Yep.
Casey, what's going on, man?
Future project almost wrapped up. I've been working on a submission to Earth Journal for the city of Seaton, which is next to the town of Saltmarsh down in, what is it, the Viscounty of Salinmore
Yep.
in the kingdom of Keeland, which features, it's like mentioned in one word in the original U1 through 3 adventures, that there's this town called Seaton 20 miles away or whatever.
Mhm.
And it gets expanded upon in 3rd edition Dungeon Master Guide 2, I think mentions it, but then in Ghosts of Saltmarsh, they actually flesh it out a pinch more. You don't really have any adventures set there. Well, in my Ghosts of Saltmarsh campaign, I set a murder mystery over in Seaton. I had Lord Obney murdering fools, and the PCs tracked him down and then got the snot beat out of him. It was awesome. And he escaped to the plane of abyss. But anyway, so I've been working on this Seaton write-up for the Orth Journal for like months now. And my plan is, and Gary doesn't maybe necessarily know
Controller
this, but I'm going to
games.
send it to Gary for commentary since he's the Keeland expert before I send it off to Christoph for publication. And it's got tons of stuff. It's taken me quite a while to finish it. So I'm doing like a stat block for the city, like 3rd edition city stat block, but then I'm modifying it for 5th edition because I'm trying to make it edition neutral, so to speak. So, but anyway, that's kind of what I've been working on the most.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Troller Games, one of our great sponsors. Our main sponsor for Virtual Greyhawk Con, by the way, everyone. Okay, please note that. Been a great sponsor of my channel, sponsors Blue Box as well. And thank you. Come on in and make sure your exclamation point drawing. We got 3 giveaways tonight here. So, Alan, what do you got cooking, man? You must be swamped.
Yeah.
Well, we're starting to get ready for the game convention for North Texas. So this is a little bit of a trying to blow the dust off of our processes and things, and trying to sort through what do we need to do in a post-COVID world for being able to run games in person and down there and have our booth and all that stuff. So that's going to be fun. It'll be nice to be back and see people and game together, of course. And then there have been several interesting releases that have come out for kind of OSRIC and 1E gaming stuff recently. So my friend, I'm going to plug his
please
books.
do that. I saw this post. Please do.
Trent Smith has these are the old versions of his books. So they have cover artwork that will look very familiar, but is not what's in the new version. But he's got his what he's calling his Heroic Legendarium. Trent Smith wrote up. He goes by T. Foster online.
Okay.
And it's a ton of really great stuff for old school gaming, very applicable for Greyhawk. So he's got in there, expansions to the birth tables from Unearthed Arcana. So you can have a 7th son of a 7th son or 7th daughter of a 7th daughter type character.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
You've got new character classes that are tied, based in Gary's fiction and plans for what he was going to do to expand in the new 2nd edition that never happened. So he's detailed the Mountebank and the Mystic and the Savant in his books with new spells. He's got a bunch of new spells that he ported back and sort of rewrote from Dangerous Journeys and stuff. Lots of really cool stuff there that could be of interest to Greyhawk. So we're going to have copies of that at the convention. We're going to have copies of a bunch of other old school releases from Milan, who is his username. Gabor Lux is his real name. So he's got a game translated from Hungary, which will be making its North American debut at North Texas with us. And it's called Hella. I'm not going to pronounce it properly, but it's Hella Zvetica, which is a kind of a picaresque game in the style of Jack Vance, with a kind of OD&D kind of vibe to it, and lots of other great stuff like that.
Volmoku
And then of course, I've got to finish my Postfest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Volmoku asks what specifically are the book names and how can he get them?
Yeah, links.
I will send them to you or put them.
You could put them in the main Cannon Fire page if you want in general, or you could just send them to me and I'll pass them on.
Okay, yeah, I'll pop them in the mail too. Yeah, because
Awesome.
there's like a list of stuff. Because what we try to do with our booth is we try to bring a lot of people together who are small publishers or friends, and who wouldn't otherwise have a lot of exposure at conventions and stuff. So,
yeah.
And some of them are in Europe and some of them are in the UK and, all over. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for hopping on. I know you had a busy day with real life stuff.
Yeah, no worries. It's always a pleasure to be here. You guys make it easy.
Thank you.
Anna?
Yeah. Okay, so first it's a gaming week for me. So tomorrow with Nagoya Joe, we're going to have the second session of our Brian's Ullman campaign, where I play she's a kind of a cleric that is kind of used to be evil. The Ullman gods are a nasty bunch, so to speak. So it's kind of it's an interesting campaign and a lot of fun. So I'm playing on that, and on Sunday I'm going to have the 11th session, their first level now, and they're storming the keep in Aldit. So that is the mission is to retake the keep.
At first level.
Yes, at first level. Yep. Mm-hmm. They have some assistants, though, some NPCs, but they are standing by and waiting to heal them up, or if they get into too big of a trouble, so to speak. So they're working on that. So that's but when it comes to the mapping front, I'm working hard on getting ready for September, and England and D&D in a Castle is in England. So that will be my biggest commission, to do all the maps and stuff for that adventure. It will also be set in Shieldlands. So it will tie into my campaign. So I'm mapping roughly 1,000 square miles, so a little bit more of Shieldlands. So, and those will be printed for the D&D in a Castle. So we'll see if maybe I can do a second set of prints or a third set of prints and raffle them out or something. We'll see. But they will be a special set, a campaign set. I don't want to I'm working on the details and stuff right now to kind of tie it in. So it will be some interesting nights, kind of going up against Iusians, and there will be some dragons, and there will be some old faith and some other stuff built into that campaign. But the thing is that the maps, the overview maps and stuff, I will be available to my patrons, and some of it might even be available for everybody before. And then all the material that I will do for that campaign in England for D&D in a Castle, I will reuse. Eventually, all of it will be published in one shape or the other for everyone. But before then, I hope that I can run basically the same scenario or slightly adapt it, because when the D&D in a Castle is basically a whole week, so that's like 16, 20 or 24 hours of game time.
Wow.
And it might be hard to squeeze that in another convention. But what I think to do is to run some shape or form of it at Virtual GaryCon. And to do that and see if I can stream it, and it can be my first stream game, hopefully. So that was the goal of having it, so to speak. And that will be several town maps, village maps. I might even, if I have the time, to do a city map of Critwall to go with it. I've done the terrain and stuff. I'm rendering in the background, and basically I will have one machine render day and night for a month, and we'll see how much I can render and then base it on. And but there will be a large chunk of the shield lands at 5 feet per pixel, because my intention is to have the basically as a dungeon adventure played outdoors. So you will go from location to location. I want to have things like overland that you have to hunt down someone else, chase them down. You will be chased. You have to kind of choose your where you go and where you can, get tracked
Yeah, a
and stuff like
wilderness
that.
crawl.
Yeah.
So
Sounds
it will
great.
be a wilderness crawl with a real map where you can see every tree and every bush.
I'm on
And-
team I use for the record. No surprise.
Yeah. Yep. So that is coming. So that is the big thing this summer that I will work on, so to speak. And there will be tidbits and stuff like that coming out, because I have to feed all you awesome guys that give me money every month, a little bit of that during the summer. But most of that will come out this fall. That's when a lot of that, because then after when the players in England have had their fun, then that's when I can package this and give it away for everybody down the line. So there will be a whole bunch of material. It will be a 5e game, so there will be, and I've already commissioned some monster art and sketches and stuff like that too. So that is coming later this too. So the hag dragon and some other cool monsters will get new art and stuff coming with it, or the unseelie dragon, or whatever you want to call it. So
Oh,
there will
neat.
be a couple of others that I will try and see if I can, the skull crow and stuff like that. So some of my monsters that I've invented myself for the campaign will get some art to go with it. And then there will be some other stuff that, and first I have to thank everybody for receiving my world kind of sketch and model of the planet so well. There's been, and we need to have an episode where we talk about the deserts of Western Uruk, because that seems to be the big hang up. And so we have to kind of discuss that and so on. I have to write a special blog post and kind of talk about that aspect a little bit more. And of course, that's just the first version of it. So there will be some refinement and looks at it, so to speak. But so far, I'm pleased that I wasn't lynched, so to speak, and people coming after me with that one. So that kind of gave me a kind of more inspiration to come. But the purpose of that was to move into GIS mapping, and that's when I all the D&D in a castle material will come out this fall. What I will be working on then is what I think will hopefully be the final version of my Flanese map in its current incarnation, so to speak, and go back to the roots and publish a new poster map and an atlas with additional content this fall. And that will be the final one. And then next year, move into a GIS version that will open up whole new possibilities. So next year, the big project will be to sit down and simply convert this into GIS. And then, of course, we have the Lindor Isles. I've hold off on the Lindor Isles because I wanted to make sure that I had the technology nailed down. Now I have that, but then we had some setbacks with my mother's cancer diagnosis and stuff that put me back like a month, and some other some issues have been lately. So that have kind of get me afterwards. And then I wasn't sure if England was going to happen or not. Now that seems very likely that it will happen, so I have to plan all that.
Wow.
So Lindor Isle have gotten caught up a little bit, but it's coming. It's just that it takes a little while to do it, and I wanted to kind of finish up and wrap up the old style of mapping this year, so we can move on to more modern one and make a modern version. That's why I wanted to have the planet really mapped out, so we know where the Flanese is in the world, so to speak, and the rest of the world can and will need to be tweaked and worked on and so on. And I don't want to say that I have the definitive. I just want to show how inclusive it can be, and that you can actually do so much in the rest of the planet. That was the goal, so to speak, and have some inspire people to come up with new cool things they can put in there. And then there will be a bunch of there's more symbols coming and a whole bunch of other. There's a lot of bits and pieces that need to fall in place in order to move on, so to speak, and it's super interesting. And I have a couple of small commissions this year, but I've actually put almost everything else aside. So I will work like 75-80% of my time on Greyhawk from now on, probably the rest of the year.
Wow.
And I've actually said no to some big ticket commissions to do this.
Wow.
So I forfeited some dream jobs because for two reasons. One, they wanted things done very, very quickly. And I again want to shout out thanks to Ed Greenwood, who recommended me for that, and I had to turn it down both for the show. They wanted it done in September, and that was too early, too quickly, and also because I want to, when I get a chance to be a paid DM, I want to make sure I do a good job and come with some cool stuff. So it's coming. But and also the good thing is it's Greyhawk, and it's going to come out for everybody, and hopefully there could be some additional material. And I want to see what others can do with a wilderness map this detailed, so to speak.
Can you post the link to this castle thing, Anna?
Oh yeah, D&D,
so we
it's
can
D&D
fantasize.
D&D in a castle.com. So I'm going to find it here. So yeah,
it ain't cheap if you want to play there.
no, it's
Oh no, I'm sure right, but just so I could look at it and go like, wow, that's really freaking cool.
If you bookmark it right next to your trip in outer space from you put them side by side in your browser.
Well, wife and I are going to Ireland, but that's not next year. Our honeymoon got delayed another year.
Hang on a second.
So Anna, you forgot to tell them about your next project, which is to take the Flyness and turn it to an Elder Scrolls 6 type game, where you could actually run around the whole Flyness with 3D buildings and the mountains and random monsters.
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of that we have some cool projects.
It'll take 20 terabytes of space.
That's it.
Well, I have that. I have more than 40
You do.
terabytes. Yeah. But what I can say real quickly, GIS, one of the cool things with that is that I can host geographical information on a server, and people can download it and tweak it, and you can serve it in layers, a bit like there's Mapbox, there's a whole bunch of other geographical tools that you use for the real world. You can actually use the same for Greyhawk, and you can, and the other thing is that the information doesn't come with a style. The information is there, and you can style it anyway, meaning you do want Greyhawk map that looks like Ordnance Survey maps, you can get that. If you want something that looks like it's parchment on a scroll, you can get that. And the information can be tweaked easily. And one of the other real benefits of this is that you can actually make print versions a lot easier. You can say, I want a 24 by 36, and then you can reformat things to fit on a certain piece of paper. That's one of the other huge benefits, because I'm revamping my Patreon right now. So the $1,000 a month goal is GIS, and the $1,500 a month goal is printing. And that's when I want to strike up. I'm talking to the Noble Dwarf guys, and they're fantastic to work with, and they're fairly local here too, and they print apparel and maps and a whole bunch of stuff. So they will have, and hopefully in the future they can have printable versions in various sizes and stuff that you can actually purchase, and so that I hope is something that can come maybe next year or something. We'll see. But when I get to $1,500 a month, then I will have a budget so I can actually test print and stuff. So I can create a version of the print and actually test print it without having to spend half my monthly budget or more on prints, because prints are expensive. And but if you have a good printing partner, that can actually bring down the cost a lot.
So Gary
First
said,
Wednesday you're back. We
so
know what that topic is.
Gary goes, the Greyhawk map will become self-aware, and the ever mysterious Tim just popped on for the first time tonight. So there you go. And
I better go because I got to email Tim.
All right. So tomorrow night, Xanthoria, the highest level adventure in this. I have adapted it for my campaign for Greyhawk. If you know, there's a plague running through southern Selene, and it's reached Altamira, and it's as high level as it gets in my campaign. Everyone's got one character, and I'm even running Lord Gazumba as the NPC himself. So there you go. Super high level. It's going to be a massive high level ending to it. So tomorrow night, I think it's Gamescape 3D's tomorrow night is the sponsor giveaway. So Tony may hop on tomorrow night. I got to talk to her. She may actually just hop on into our Zoom and say hello during the game, because she did write it. So that is tomorrow night. Sunday night, another big guest, Alan Hammock, right? C2 Ghost Tower, remember this, A3, right? He's done a lot of
Classic.
unbelievable things.
Mhm.
He's got some great stories for the early days of TSR. I hear he is very good at telling those stories. I have, courtesy of Canadian Ancient Gamer, I have 3 reprints of the Ghost Tower all ready to go to give away if you've never gotten it for Sunday night. So we're good to go there.
It's not an accident that BDKR1 looks like that mod, because that was my favorite mod as a kid growing up.
Really? Very cool.
Cool.
Then I want to go deep delve into this and find out, the chessboard and all the other stuff, and say, and the soul gem itself. I want to know the details, of this adventure. Also want to know who placed it in the Woolly Bay, whose idea was it to place it near Harby and all that. So
Sternalia, isn't she mentioned in the pre-gens?
yeah, I think so.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So Jay, you didn't
Okay,
pick up on the
wow.
hint. Did you hear Casey? It was his favorite adventure as a kid. Maybe somebody should be invited on the chat. Just for that.
He's a fanboy, though, right?
If you're a fanboy, wouldn't you like to go and talk to the guy, Casey? Live?
No,
No?
He's really nice and very approachable.
never meet your heroes.
All right.
Alan's worth meeting. He's great.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. Myself and Anna will be. Maybe we'll have someone else on too. You never know. But we're gonna chat him up a bit and just pick his brain. I know he's already reposted some of the posts from earlier in the week, so I know he's ready to go for this. That will be Sunday, and then next. Don't even ask me what we're doing next week. It's TBD for Legends and Lore. We'll get that worked
Yeah.
out.
Mhm.
And just note the big thing is the next Saturday night special is coming up, and it is the Stella group, Stella Luna, Lady May, Time Lord's wife, that D'Angelo, and Runaway Robot. So I'm going to introduce some people who've never played old school and never played Greyhawk in their lives, and I'm going to screw with their minds. I guarantee it. Okay, no mongrels. I'll tell you that one thing.
I was gonna say no more
No
mongrels. Give that a
mongrels.
rest for a little
I
while.
guarantee you that I'm going to have them running around in circles in their head. Just watch. So I'm ready to go for this. I'm excited. Let's do the giveaways, everyone. We got a lot of great stuff. I don't know about TPK, but I'm going to make them remember this. So it'll be a blast. So here we go. Last call. I already did a Sulich, Von Molko. I did a Sulich just a couple weeks ago with the All-Star group. I can't repeat myself. Yep, just did a Sulich. So can't do that. I got something better. I got something way better. Gonna be fun. Mongrels always there. Yes, Tim, the mongrels are always there. There to instill fear in you. Here we go. Closing out. The first winner is the $25 gift certificate to CSL Entertainment. Okay? Ready? The winner of that is... Jay's going to hit right buttons, Jay. Fraley. There you go. Fraley 17.
Good. Congratulations.
Congrats. As long as Fraley on to claim it.
I saw him on not too long
Just
ago.
let's make sure he's still on. He's still on in chat. That's good. Okay. There you go, Fraley. Next winner. This is for the Casey book. No, this is for, I'm sorry. This is for because of Rich's paranoia. This is for Dwellers of the Forbidden City. All right. Dwellers of the Forbidden City is next. Okay, reprint. So here we go. The winner of that is Asher.
Hey,
All right, Dale.
congratulations. Yeah.
Asher, the bear. All right. Winner of the final, and the winner of this is it's custom signed by Casey, with a little note in it as well. And the winner
One of 20.
One of 20, yes, absolutely. And the winner is Grape Ape. There you go.
He went.
Played in
Matt.
the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Grape Ape, Matt, you got it. Okay, you got the signed one. So congrats, everyone.
All right.
I guess I'm going to raid.
Congratulations.
Yes, congrats to all the winners. I think I'm going to raid into Praters. I think Praters is on. I'm going to raid into Praters tonight. So thank you.
Did he win recently? Because someone's saying like Grape Ape Texas again.
He hasn't
Maybe.
won. I mean, we normally get, we get it's been spread out. We've gotten some people. There's some real new faces. Yeah. So thank you, Alan. Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Casey. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, John. Thank you,
Thank you,
Jason
Jay.
Zavoda. Oh, thanks. I know we ran
Yeah.
late, but this was a very
It's 100 episodes, so yeah, we have to run.
yeah. Grape Ape, you're correct, Jason. Grape Ape is helping a lot with the Len Lakofka archive. Thank you, Wally, for that resub.
Mhm.
And see you all tomorrow night for a wonderful end to a super high level adventure. My guys are chomping at the bit for it. Let me make sure I hit the right button here. Hit the right
This
button.
is the second time he's won the book. He won a PDF copy by winning the Bandit Kingdoms tournament with Mike
Oh,
and
okay.
Indicarus.
Well, the good thing is,
That's right.
it's always better to have a hard copy.
Yeah, absolutely.
A custom
And if
sign.
he already had one, well, this one's signed, so maybe he can gift the other one to a local library or something.
Absolutely. See you all soon. All right, gonna set up a raid. Gonna raid into Praetors, and then we're gonna call it a night. So give me 10 seconds here. Dun dun dun. This button. Hit that button. All right, should be starting up. Cool. 70, 71. Awesome. 5, 4, 72.
Good night,
Very,
everybody.
very cool. 3,
Yeah, good night.
2, 1. See you tomorrow night. That should be gone.
Yep. Chat popped over.
This.
So,
Boom.
quick question about other streamers.
Let me shut this off. Shut the
Oh, good.
broadcast off.